Peace to all the gods and goddesses. Back again with the vibes of the divine. I am the god Shango, and today, get ready to take another deep dive into this electrifying world of the Young Thug RICO trial. Let's get into it, family.
I am going to grant the motion to dismiss Fonnie Willis in her individual capacity. Having said that, however, I'm denying the motion to dismiss Fonnie Willis as the DA, and I'm denying the motion to dismiss the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and here's why. Number one, as to Madam D.A. Willis, the District Attorney, I agree, has some broad immunity that attaches. But I agree with the plaintiffs that the traditional understanding of immunity that attaches to a District Attorney was not intended to limit or inhibit the public's right to access non-prosecutorial documents, non-investigative documents.
Did you earlier say that you just wanted to get someone locked up?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay. Were you willing to lie to just get someone locked up?
Yeah, being in my frame of mind, yes, I will.
They can look. I'm sorry they pissed off. Justice is now actually blind. Lady Justice is blind. Everybody can get it.
Minimizing disruptions in court, how many witnesses there are to go, and what you expect those witnesses to say.
Everybody can get it.
Not really, but several parties have asked for mistrials.
It was a goal of my predecessor and any person or prosecutor in this office to make sure that
Justice is now actually blind. Lady Justice is blind. Everybody can get it.
Let's try to conduct court in a way that minimizes disruption.
very shortly after me becoming the DA, I sat down with Mr. Thomas's mother and I made her a promise.
There is a rule that lets me exclude cumulative evidence, and I might end up using that.
I was a prosecutor, as you know, for 16 years, 4 months, and 4 days in this office. The murder of Donovan Thomas in 2015 created violence like Atlanta has never seen.
Justice is now actually blind. Lady Justice is blind. Everybody can get it.
Not really, but several parties have asked for mistrials, I think, because things are moving so slowly.
One last question, I'm sorry. How significant was the arrest of Christian Eppinger with regard to the timeline of this indictment? Like, I had been looking at it where that arrest set off this 90-day clock, but I'm reasonably certain you were looking at YSL before all of this. Did that create a sort of a time situation where you wanted to get this done?
No.
To re-engage Fulton County, should they decide they want to continue services. We are always open for that. We are also taking all of our employees and looking to move them to other contracts that we have throughout the state. Sheriff Labatte's statement that he is looking to hire our employees directly demonstrates that upon entering the contract, the agreement was entered in bad faith. If you're looking to solicit our employees, and if you never had the funds to actually pay for said services being rendered. Back in February or March of last year, we were told that there was a cyber attack, and that was the delay in payment. We were provided with no said proof. Furthermore, it just compounded day after day, week after week. And the only reason why we haven't pulled out until now is because of our moral obligation to the officers and the men and women in blue that we stood side by side with in the jail and wanted to provide the safest environment for those in our care and custody and to supplement the deputies as well. But we continue to support the project and pay our officers. So we are paying our officers through the end date, and we have suspended services until a new agreement could be made. The sheriff's statement that he is looking to hire our employees directly, to our knowledge, that means that they are not being given peace officer status. If they are not given peace officer status, they are then governed to have a security license issued by the Georgia Board of Private Detectives and Agencies. If they're not given peace officer status, they do not fall under the color of law exception, which means if there is some sort of liability or act taken, that they are outside the scope of their employment, as they are not licensed. If their title is basically the same as it was with us, security, then they need to be licensed, and the Fulton County Jail itself needs to be licensed as a security agency or a private detective agency, which it is not. It is licensed as a law enforcement entity. So this raises several questions for us as far as if they're violating OCGA codes and laws. And if they do hire our personnel and they weren't able to pay us or remit payment for invoices and services rendered to the tune of in excess of $1 million, where are they going to come up with paying these employees on a weekly basis? They explained to us that they were taking from various buckets of money to give us small amounts to help us get through the next week or two. However, if those small buckets are depleted, and this is a minimal drop in the bucket because we offered them that we would stay on past the drop dead date if they were providing approximately about $175,000 of 2-week service and of back money owed and execute the agreement. If they were not, then we were pulling services. So if they did not even have that small nominal amount, how are they going to pay these officers to work at the jail? So once again, this is not something that we're proud of. In 22 years of private security and public sector service, we have never had to suspend services to any client due to non-payment of services.
But we believe when you look at the totality of it all, our argument is that he is talking about the fact that he.
Some more of that coming up later, but basically they ain't been paying them since the first contract. When they first got the contract in January, they first payment, they was underpaid. Then they was underpaid all the way up to like June, and then they just stopped paying them altogether. And then they trying to start their own company. Like, that's a violation of law. I think he's gonna talk about it later, but that's color of powers, color of whatever, color of some color of law.
Gave up information.
Okay, but this doesn't establish that this is inconsistent with what he's saying on the stand. You need to move on to another topic. I'm not going to allow this. I'm going to give you this back.
Thank you.
All right, let's get the jury back out. Hank.
Last part was none of it.
None of it.
For a prosecutor who's an advocate to then vouch for and put her own credibility in issue, that's what I've been.
Yeah, she been violating the whole time. I'm gonna start a poll. What y'all think about Whitaker so far? Y'all think she been biased? Or y'all think her rulings been like she been harsh on the defense? Or y'all think she just been playing the game? Let me know.
Objecting to, and to say we gave it to the defense. And I'm raising my voice because I don't have a amplifier and microphone, so I'm not trying to course shaking the head with a smile. My point is, sorry, Your Honor, is that it sounds like I did something wrong. I didn't release anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I was the one objecting for the release of this information. And it was given out, and I'm not very technical, so it was given out on Dropbox, and I was told that's a bad way to do it. And Judge Glanville, then predecessor judge, said, don't do it that way anymore. Yet the Dropbox was never taken down. It was all a mess. And the predecessor judge, and I'm not casting aspersions, it may have been a great investigation. I just never heard anything. Now we hear on Tuesday, the third day of September, and the prosecution is asking questions which clearly target that did you know that within X amount of time that the defense got this discovery, which the previous answer was no. I don't know when the defense got the discovery. There's no foundation. That doesn't stop the district attorney of saying then it was released. Clearly, it's the same pattern that they've been given about all these witnesses. Mr. Tratavius Stevens, Mr. Bean, B-E-A-N, Mr. Murphy, this witness. Have you ever had to testify in front of Jeffrey Williams or these other people? Now all of a sudden, your testimony is different. And I've been objecting every time because there's no evidence of intimidation. And what happened, which you may not know, and this is based on information belief, I never spoke with Mr. Copeland about this, so maybe it's not true. I believe he got beaten in the jail after that was released. I believe, I could be wrong. But assuming that's all true, for the prosecutor to now say that their hands are clean, and I can't ask the question. Judge Lambo denied my request to call the prosecutors and their agents to assert under oath, under questioning, who released this. Because it certainly wasn't in Mr. Williams' best interest. So anybody on Mr. Williams' behalf would be would do a disservice to release that Mr. Williams is having people killed really in the middle of jury selection. So anyway, my bottom line is this entire, Ms. Hilton has taken, and I have all the cases we argued before, but has taken herself, and she has moved from the position of asking questions and an advocate to testifying as a witness. You told me. I was there. Detective walks out of the car. You told me. You only told me this. Did you know that the prosecution served this? Were you aware that the defense had this? All of this needs to be questioned to Prosecutor Hill. So I asked the court, I know I've been repeatedly asking that, and I know that I have a continual objection, but this is not how we try cases in the state of Georgia. All of these cases require Ms. Hilton to take a witness stand. And if she does, I have no objection to I'm not witness. But it's been denied. That's my objection. I'd like her to be removed from the case. I'm not trying to stymie the prosecution. They have other witnesses. They have at counsel table 3 other witnesses. I mean, this is not new. So I ask for the prosecution that specifically Ms. Hilton and Ms.love be removed from the case. I have questions for both of them. I'd also like to renew my motion I could call predecessor judge. That's my entire objection. For the mistrial motion, I don't want a mistrial. I'm telling you what I don't want it. But this has to stop. And now the last questions had to be with the intent of casting aspersions on not only Mr. Williams, but I presume everybody else here by saying that we're releasing information, which I assume maybe it's not true. So I don't want to go too far. But the next question will be, and you got beaten, Mr. Copeland, after the release that as intimidation. So those are my motions that I don't want. Don't want the motion to but I feel so helpful.
All right.
That wasn't going to be my next question because I didn't know he got put up in the chair. Your Honor, last week when Mr. Shard, I believe, asked...
She has not testified in this trial. At this point, would
I don't have any personal knowledge, or I was not told that.
Last week when Mr. Shard asked he went down a line of questioning about this call being released. And Mr. Shard asked Mr. Copeland who was his belief, what was his belief of who released this recording. And the state objected, saying that it wasn't relevant who he believed released this video. The court overruled the state's objection. He was able to answer that question, which was he believed it was the state. Mm-hmm. And at this point, we believe that it is proper for the same reason that he was able to disparage that the state will release such a video.
Okay, you need to be careful about what you're saying because there are questions from the attorneys and then there are answers from the witness stand, and that's what the evidence is. And I do not believe that anybody on the defense side made the suggestion that the state had released it. I mean, the transcript will reflect what was asked and what was answered, but
and maybe not disparage is the right word, but the question was asked, who do you believe released the video? And he says, I believe it was the state of Georgia. I believe that an appropriate line of questioning, Your Honor, is would he feel differently if he thought that the defense leaked it? And to give questioning about what his understanding of, what Mr. Copeland's understanding is of what happened and what transpired when this video was released.
Copeland's belief and understanding is.
But would it change if
that's not what you asked, though?
But I had to give some foundational questions in order to ask that question, in order to ask what my next question is. Because another question that I'm going to ask him, and it's something he alluded to earlier, was that after this video was released, Ms.love, Investigator Long, Ms. Rolak, all visited with him after this video was released to check on him, to make sure that he was okay. And he alluded to that earlier when he thought I was present at the meeting. And all of this happened around the time that the video was leaked. And so I was asking some foundational questions to Mr. Copeland to see if his position would be different if he thought that someone else leaked it and not the state of Georgia.
Then you should ask that question.
And I can get to that series of questions, Your Honor, but I don't.
I mean, you are coming very, very close to the line with this line of questioning. I mean, you're basically, the defense is not far off. Let's just put it that way.
So I mean, I can move to my last two questions regarding this, which is who.
No, I'm not going to let you ask that last question at this point. And that's a total hypothetical question. That is an assumes facts, not an evidence question. Not the objection you keep making.
Your Honor, I feel compelled to just make a brief record. First of all, any insinuation that I asked a question about the release is way off. That topic never even came up during my cross.
You know what, and I know you're not finished, but let me just say that I believe that this jury is paying attention and that they have enough wherewithal to remember what actually happened, and for questions that are potentially misleading, I'm not sure why they're being asked, but I think the jury's going to take note of what got said, and I understand, but, you know, I think the jury is doing what they have been told to do, which is to pay attention to the evidence, not the questions.
And second, Your Honor, I just want Your Honor to understand kind of the backdrop here. I guess there was a release. I don't even remember the time that it was released, but apparently it was on social media. When that came to the attention of the court, to my recollection, from my vantage point, yelled at the defense, and this was a prior judge, and essentially blamed us. And all of us were saying, well, we didn't do anything. I personally don't even know how to release a video to the press or the internet anyways. But, you know, I just went along with it. Okay, there's going to be an investigation. We're being told we're under investigation. And then all of a sudden, no one mentions the investigation anymore. And it's kind of like, well, if you're accused of something, you would like to know the progress of said investigation.
I'm certainly happy to ask the predecessor court's chambers what's gone on with it, if anything, but that's not really relevant to what's before this jury.
Well, it's not until the state, knowing that there was an investigation, knowing that they haven't heard of any findings, then lights this thing on fire again and starts suggesting that we did something wrong. And, you know, I can only speak for myself. I don't believe anyone did anything wrong on this side. I know I didn't. And then somehow those insinuations are coming out in front of the jury with absolutely no basis. And I'm going to join my my friend Mr. Steele, and I'm going to state in my place that I believe the state at this point is goading a mistrial and goading us to move for a mistrial. So I just think that that was very inappropriate, and it suggested things that there is just no basis. And in fact, there's apparently been an investigation, and it's been settled as far as I know.
Well, I don't know what has happened, if anything, with that. But would you like to address the assertion that you are goading?
It's very inappropriate.
Hold on a second, family. Let me see what's up with this buffering. I don't know what's going on. They must be trying to block your boy one time, huh? Everything working fine until you start getting in the sauce. Let's try it. Oh, shit.
I am going to
goes by the name Obama.
Went along with it. Okay, there's going to be an investigation. We're being told we're under investigation. And then all of a sudden, no one mentions the investigation anymore. And it's kind of like, well, if you're accused of something, you would like to know the progress of said investigation.
I'm certainly happy to ask the predecessor court's chambers what's going on with it, if anything, but that's not really relevant to what's before this jury.
Well, it's not until the state, knowing that there was an investigation, knowing that they haven't heard of any findings, then lights this thing on fire again and starts suggesting that we did something wrong. And, I can only speak for myself. I don't believe anyone did anything wrong on this side. I know I didn't. And then somehow those insinuations are coming out in front of the jury with absolutely no basis. And I'm going to join my my friend Mr. Steele, and I'm going to state in my place that I believe the state at this point is goading a mistrial and goading us to move for a mistrial. So I just think that that was very inappropriate, and it suggested things that there is just no basis. And in fact, there's apparently been an investigation, and it's been settled as far as I know.
Well, I don't know what has happened, if anything, with that. But would you like to address the assertion that you are goading the defense into a mistrial?
Yes, Your Honor. Number one.
Or into a motion for mistrial.
Yes,
my bad,
Judge,
family. I think I got it fixed.
Number one, we don't want a mistrial. We vehemently object to a mistrial, and we do believe that the line of questioning, whether it was posed by Mr. Shart or Mr. Steele regarding Mr. Copeland's belief about who leaked that video, was, one, not relevant, but understanding that the court ruled as it did, we believe that,
All right, can you hear me?
That works.
All right. Your Honor, I want to add that we cannot question any other individual that was at that meeting about Ms. Hilton and the way that she asked some of her questions and made her comments. Let me give you an example. Ms. Hilton said, I was standing to the side because I didn't know you. That's her feelings. That's her reasoning on why she was standing where she was standing. Ms. Hilton also said, I was just being me. I can't ask Detective anyone in reference to that.
Hang on. Sorry. I mean, I think that each of those was not a statement. It was a question. It was a cross-examination question. They were, and was this essentially like, is this your recollection or is this what happened? So it was not her testifying. I'm overruling that objection.
All right. And I just want to add that she also said the purpose of the ex parte meeting. So there's no way that
he said, I have no idea what the purpose of that meeting was. So, I mean, I understand, but it's overruled. Thank you for the additional making of the record. Anything else?
Just briefly, I know I objected earlier about what Attorney Cale Bump was allegedly said in that meeting. The court overruled our objection on hearsay grounds. The state indicated that it was a federal listener. Those are those are objections that we're making because we certainly cannot cross-examine Kayla Bumpus today on this issue. We may have to put her on the witness list if we think that it's warranted. But today, she has not testified in this trial, so at this point would be hearsay. So I just want to review my objection.
All right, thank you.
It establishes, one, the nature of you do not tell. Two, he has knowledge that people did tell, and he is not.
Here she go again, trying to think as she talk. Buffering just like the stream was. My bad. We back now though. But listen to her. How is this still going on? Why do they got such a vendetta to carry on this type of bullshit? Let me know, family. Let's go.
Saying this didn't happen. He's not saying this person just flat out lied. There's no way. And it also explains indirectly why certain things may have happened. By certain things, this part is just an argument that would be made later. But if I were to make a statement in closing arguments that, of course, Mr. Zachary changed his story, everybody learned that he told, and he knew that everybody learned that he told, and now he's being looked at as a rat. So the call that Mr. Sledge makes and the content of that call are necessary for a number of reasons, and they become very relevant when put in the context of other evidence that we will be introducing at trial.
Okay.
That had to do with that drive-by shooting, all right? So just entirely erase that from your minds. And I also, at this point, am going to admonish and rebuke you, Ms.Love, to pay careful attention to how you ask questions and to what you put before the jury. You should not have put that factual rendition before the jury as anything that this witness admitted to at the time of the 2027 guilty plea. And I'm going to instruct you to refrain from asking improper questions.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Anything in addition that anybody needs to put before the court right now with regard to those curative instructions? All right. All right. Go ahead, Ms.love.
Y'all remember her Pepto-Bismol outfit, right? This when she first started talking to Antonio. We only gonna play a little bit of this one, then we gonna get into some of today also. And I got some other stuff mixed in between. Appreciate y'all being here, family. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend.
Mr. Sledge. Would you tell the jury just one moment?
Sure.
Who goes by the name Obama?
I know of him.
How do you know of him?
Just seen him around.
Have you ever have you ever hung out with?
We probably been in the same vicinity, but I never hung with him. He never been in a car with me. He never nothing like that.
What about Martinez Arnold?
Yes, I know Martinez Arnold.
How long have you known him?
I've been knowing Martinez Arnold. Whoa, it's been a minute. I can't actually tell you how long, but it's been a minute.
Is he a person that you know who also answers to the name Duke?
Yes.
All right.
Hold up though. You remember Whitaker Tall Glass? She said, "Nah, not 100. She got 99 left." What the hell? I rebuke you. Yeah, we got that coming up.
Martinez Arnold YSL.
He's an artist of YSL.
And what about Antonio Sumlin? Is he YSL?
I can't tell you yes or no to that answer.
Now, putting aside matters in 2017, as they relate to December 28th, 2022, at any point, did you make an assertion while speaking with the state through your attorney that YSL is not a gang?
I don't think I made it in that plea agreement, but in 2015, okay, right.
In 2022, December 28th, 2022, at any point, did you assert that YSL is not a gang?
No.
At any point, did you assert that YSL members, that you are unaware of 3 or more YSL members who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? At any point did you make that assertion?
I don't remember.
Is there anything that would refresh your memory?
Yes, if you have anything that can refresh my memory.
What do you believe would refresh your memory?
I can't say. Whatever you have. If I can look at it or go over it, and then I can.
Yeah. Would looking at 444Y refresh your memory?
Yes.
Your factual acknowledgments? Okay. Approaching the witness with 444Y. All right. Have you had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Does it refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. So at any point, did you assert that YSL is not made up of 3 or more members or associates who have committed crimes to increase the reputation of YSL?
I misunderstood that question because from our understanding, y'all say 3 or more people that commit a crime is a gang.
Why do you keep...
When she asked that, I would have counted out like them at the table, like you, Hilton, and Love, and Atkins. Like 3, 3 or more, that's a gang, right? Like a gang of people. All her questions, I would have deferred them back to her. I would have used the state as all the examples. Like give up letters. What was the rivals? I don't know. APD.
Tying the state's understanding to your answers.
Because that's my understanding. You can't. That's my understanding. When I was arrested, that's what Gator and Dennis, not the state, I'm sorry, Detective Gator and Dennis provided us with, which they probably misled us.
And so when you say that's what they provided us with, what does whatever it is that you're speaking of have to do with your acknowledgement that YSL is made up of 3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL? What does one thing have to do with the other?
I don't know, Ms.love. I don't know.
Is there any part of Section 1 under your factual acknowledgments?
Facts at Chan, my black is golden. I don't know how they could just sit here and just lie. Like, she didn't lie to the judge every day. They almost a motion for mistrial every day from her lying and coming up with some bullshit. I don't know how they could just keep on going.
That you did not understand.
Yes, because I thought just 3 or more people that committed a crime, y'all would consider it as a gang.
Again, let me ask you
I didn't
this
understand it
question.
then.
Is the word gang in section 1?
Yeah, but it said identify.
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
It said, when you identify, it said identify. When you identify gang members, you identify with colors and hand signals. So that's why I took it as a gang.
So my question to you is not at this point about you taking something as a gang. It's specifically related to YSL being made up of 3.
Like, you wrote that. Yo, sloppy ass writing. I didn't write that. I wouldn't write that. I don't talk like that. All I did was initial so I could go home.
3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL. Is that what you acknowledged in count 1?
Yes, I initiated, yes.
Okay. So how does what Gaither or Dennis may or may not have said to you, what does that have to do with whether or not you know about 3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL?
I can't say.
You also said you've been a member of YSL since 2012. Your memory was refreshed.
Yes, because as it went on, it started as a neighborhood gang. But
Wait.
a neighborhood gang.
What are you saying? Spell what you're saying.
G-A-N-G.
Okay. What started as a neighborhood gang?
YSL.
All right. What do you mean when you say gang in that sentence?
You ain't let me finish the first.
I promise you I will, just if you don't mind. Can you tell the jury what you mean when you say gang right there?
What it said, gang. 3 or more people.
Keep going.
It's a gang, you say.
No. I can't testify, so it has to be you and your words.
I just said 3 or more people is a gang.
So when you say that YSL started as a neighborhood gang, what is it that you mean? That it just has 3 or more people?
Yeah, because, well, I guess, from my understanding, I guess.
So tell the jury what you understand a gang to be. Apart from Gaither, Dennis, or anyone from the state, what is Mr. Antonio Sledge's understanding of what a gang is?
Judge, I'm going to object.
She's not Pacific enough. Fact, shot Diggy.
No, sir, it doesn't. So I'm going to overrule that. She's asking about his lay understanding of it.
My understanding of the gang was 3 or more people hanging together. That's my understanding. I didn't think you had to be committing a crime to be a gang.
So continue explaining why you said it started out as a neighborhood gang.
Because that was my understanding of it.
Okay. And so then what happened?
Jeffrey Williams started a company called YSL the label. Okay. So it departed from the gang.
Okay. So who all was a part of the neighborhood gang called YSL?
I can't name. In this courtroom, I don't see anybody, but you got a couple of us. I can say I was. I'm gonna say I was. I I can't name the other people. I'm gonna stick with I was.
Who started YSL? The neighborhood gang.
I wasn't there when they started, so I don't know.
What is your understanding of who started it?
It should have just been like, it just naturally started on its own. I don't know. Everybody started saying it at the same time. LeBron James, all them. We all started it.
Mondo said he started. He ain't on this case.
Nori said he the first one that said slime, right? Nori said that's his word on Drink Champs.
Why do you mention that Mondo isn't on this case?
I'm just saying, you said who started YSL the game.
Okay.
So
is Mondo, to your knowledge, also YSL, a YSL gang member?
I don't know. I never hung with Mondo. Okay. I don't really even know him.
So who did you hang with as part of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
Well, I guess you could say Stevens. I don't want to name the other people they did. I don't want to name the deceased, if that okay with you.
Is Stevens the only living person that you know of who was a member of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
That I know personally?
That you know of who was a member of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
I can't think of right now off the top of my head.
Is every person that you hang with or consider a friend or a loved one a member of a gang?
Had they been a member of a gang?
She said, every person you hang with a member of a gang. That's a stupid question. I'd have been like, I don't hang with nobody. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm hanging with you right now. Are you a gang member?
Everybody that you hang with, a member of the gang YSL?
I wouldn't say that.
I got forced to be here. I almost got tased by the police because I didn't want to go to court.
Mr. White, why are you so reluctant to come to court and speak about this?
What are you talking about? This is not my case. You really trying to beat something in my head. Like, this is not my case, man. Yeah, I can tell you, yeah, about my 10 years, be it what I did, yeah. It got me here, yeah. I robbed some people, yeah, they got me here. They get my time, yeah. But at this time and moment, this is not my case, man. This is not my case.
Mr. White, in that car, Detective Dennis asked you if anybody in your car pulled out anything on it, and you said we had some guns and shit, and we didn't pull anything out, right?
How do we have some guns and shit if I left? I keep telling you, I left the sit-go. I ran because I had a firearm on me. First offender probation.
Now,
police is going to show up at the store. Why would I be sitting right there with a firearm? So I could get locked up?
Mr. White, it's not a coincidence that you told Detective Dennis that we had guns, and you just said you had a gun that night, is it?
We? I had a gun and ran. I don't know about no we. Don't try to put much.
Yo, shout out to YP, Calm Chick, Real Talk, RIP, Rich Homie Quan.
Guns on me. I had one gun.
There was other guns in the Blue Ford Escape that you all were in with proof, right?
Y'all must have got it off whoever was in that car. Because y'all didn't get no gun on me.
Now, Mr. White, do you recall that while you were driving, you were pointing to the roadway and you said, explain what happened. You were driving up a little bit close. They feel like you were just following and pushing up on them. Do you remember that, Mr. White?
But nobody was following me. Nobody ain't gonna push up on me.
You go on to tell Detective Dennis and Gaither, they pull in there, we pull in there, boom. They were thinking we were trying to rob them or something. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. White, you tell Detective Dennis and Detective Gaither that a person named O.G. Bentley, you got some money, right?
I don't know no O.G. Bentley.
Detective Gaither asked you where O.G. Bentley got paid from. He asked for something, where's his money? And you said, nah, the rapper Young Thug fucked with him, right?
But I don't know, you feel me? I don't know what you're talking about. You probably said, I don't know where you getting these information from.
And Mr. White, Detective Gaither asked you, it's cool if y'all drive to where the shooting happened so she can see it, and you gave them directions to get to the location, right?
No. Y'all probably got it from the gas station, man, that the shooting happened at. Why would I give you a location? That nothing happened with me, man. It's like you trying to put me on the scene, put me there. This don't have nothing to do with me. All due respect, this don't have nothing to do with me. I'm serving my own bid. I'm ready to go back to prison. Complete my 36 months off a 10-year bid and go home.
Mr. White, you realize you were a victim in this case, right?
How am I a victim? I ain't get shot. I ain't get hurt.
But the bullet came in the car that you were sitting in, didn't it?
But you said I'm a victim. Victim means something happened to me. Nothing didn't happen to me.
You don't think someone shooting a bullet at someone doesn't make them victims?
That's the second time they did that too. How y'all forcing victims to come testify? You gonna make them say, "Who did that to you? He did it to you? Tell me, he did it to you. Point them out." Like, how you gonna make a victim testify? and like they locked up Bennett, our Shelly and Bennett. I think that was her name. It's crazy.
I didn't get shot in the head. Somebody else did. It was not me. My head look alright, don't it?
Mr. White, you remember yesterday, you're 27 now, right?
For those who don't know, that's the guy that called the cops, or that was on the phone with the police when half a head got shot.
In 2015, you would have been 18, right? You told Detective Dennis, when you spoke with him in the car, he asked you how old you are, and you said you were 18 years old, right?
I never spoke with nobody, bro. You keep trying to put me on a case. I cannot help you.
Detective Gaither, so remember, Mr. White, yesterday you said that you went to South Atlanta, right, to high school? Detective Gaither asked you where you went to high school, and you told her South Atlanta, right?
I mean, everybody who's staying late will go to South Atlanta. That's just an area code. Cleveland Avenue, you gonna go to South Atlanta.
So the D'Angelo White, who was 18 on first day of probation from Clayton County and went to South Atlanta, was not you in the car that day?
I probably wasn't even in school then. I've been dropped out of school. I was going to try to turn to school.
Now, Mr. White, you were on first day of probation at Clayton County when this happened, right?
Yes.
And when you met the detectives in the car, you told them that you got out of Clayton County a day ago on a probation violation, right? You all kept driving, and then you asked the detectives to throw you something and tell them the shit, right?
Throw me what?
You went on to clarify $20 because you really could have never said shit. Your other partner in there wasn't going to say shit either. That's what you told them, right?
The fuck is $20 gonna do for me?
He said he was about to snitch for $20. That's because, you know what, too? I got to go back and find that audio because that wasn't him. That was a different person they had playing as him that asked for that $20. It was two different voices. I thought I was tripping back then, but actually it's coming up, too, on some of my reviews. So it's coming up soon. Not on this video, but it's coming up. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend, family. Let's go.
This is not my case.
Detective Dennis asked you how to know that your friend didn't already say something. You said you know they wasn't going to say nothing because you know them personally, right?
How did you come get me from prison? What, like, if it was 4 other people or whoever was in the car with them folk, why is I'm here and the people who witnessed this is not here?
Mr. White, I'm asking you about the conversation.
Nah, you need to ask them that. You need to ask them that. You can't ask me shit. I was not there.
Now, Mr. White, you recall Detective Dennis asking you what you would have wanted the police to do if you caught that bullet in the head and seen your partner and told him, do you remember him asking you that? What would happen if you caught that bullet?
Appreciate that.
You remember that,
Appreciate the
Mr. White?
sub. Tune in TV.
You keep trying to ask me about a dude who got shot in the head. The bullet didn't hit me. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
And after he got shot in the head, you never were able to see him in person, were you?
I probably incarcerated.
And you told Detective Dennis and Detective Gaither, when they asked you why you had to get up to seafood, first of all, man, that shit's too hot now. I did not know what hospital he was at anyway, right?
You keep talking about a person I only seen one time in my life. Why would I be concerned about somebody who I seen only one time in my life? It doesn't make sense. We never kicked to know nothing.
And Mr. White, the detectives tell you who's missing a chunk of his head and it's in a rehabilitation center, and your response is, I'm just saying though, nobody in my hood fucks with the police anyways. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm the only one who's fucked with them, just like I told you.
I just told you right here out of my mouth, I don't even like the police. So what the heck?
And what you told them is that in the neighborhood that you grew up in, people didn't.
You see, I just told you right here out my mouth, I don't even like the police. What the heck? Why would they even bring him on the stand? That shit don't make no sense. Like, who planned this?
Talk to the police, right?
I don't even talk to the police. I don't even supposed to be here. You brought me here.
And Detective Dennis explains to you, after he just shot your partner with a chopper for no reason, that's what makes his job hard. Because when a fuck blank kept walking the street, that's why. Because if nobody doesn't say anything, he's going to do it again. And it could have been any of y'all. And you're just going to let that ride, not me. And you told him that shit probably already been taken care of. Shit's probably been already taken care of. You remember that, Mr. White?
Taking care of what?
And when you told Detective Dennis that it's probably already taken care of, you're talking about being handled in the streets, right?
That have nothing to do with me. What is all this what you saying about a dude who getting shot? About a dude who I only seen one time in my life? Why would I be trying to handle anything with him? It don't have nothing to do with me. This is not my case. I didn't get shot. You keep trying to say I'm the victim. How I'm the victim if I didn't get shot in the head? So you have the wrong person.
Mr. White, when someone shoots at you, how are you supposed to respond to that if you don't go to the police?
What?
I'm asking, how would you respond if someone were to shoot at you? How are you, Mr. White, how are you going to handle that?
Objection, Your Honor. That's also speculation.
I stand the objection.
Mr. White, you are a human being who has choices, right?
If somebody shoot at you, what you gonna do?
I'm asking you, Mr. White, what you yourself will do.
You're like,
That calls
you
for
trying to make me...
hold on. That calls for speculation. Don't answer.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Let me hear that one more time.
How are you, Mr. White, how are you going to handle that?
Objection, Your Honor. That's also speculation.
I stand the objection.
All right, never mind. Let me not fuck with it. I'm gonna get this shit.
When someone shoots at you, how are you supposed to respond to that if you don't go to the police?
What?
I'm asking, how would you respond if someone were to shoot at you? How are you, Mr. White, how are you going to handle that?
Objection, Your Honor. That's also speculation.
I stand the objection.
Mr. White, you are a human being who has choices, right?
If somebody shoot at you, what you gonna do?
I'm asking you, Mr. White, what you yourself will do.
You're like,
That calls
you
for
trying to make me...
hold on. That calls for speculation. Don't answer.
What the fuck?
And despite handling the streets, Mr. White, You called 911 right after Drew got shot, right?
Bro, you crazy, man.
You didn't go back and shoot them or anyone else. You just called to get them help, right?
I'm not finna be shooting at nobody.
And the text Dennis tells you he's still out acting a fool, and you said it's probably still hot. My folks been shooting at his ass. They've been coming back shooting here, right?
I don't know nothing about no shooting.
So what we were just talking about a minute ago, when I asked you how stuff is handled in the streets, when you told Detective Dennis, my folks been shooting at his ass, they've been coming back shooting here. That's how it's handled in the streets, right?
That's how you want to put it in your mind. I never told you. My folks ought to know about it. This don't have nothing to do with me. I don't even know this dude. Why would I be having somebody shoot at somebody I don't know?
Ms. White, Detective Dennis asked you, when does it stop? When somebody's baby got shot, and you told him, somebody's baby, not my baby, right?
A baby got shot.
You didn't tell Detective Dennis that?
Hell, fuck no, I ain't need.
And also, remember Shar was asking Gaither, they had guns, right? Did you check the guns when they went in the house? This is one of the dudes that was there that I guess went in the house and hid the guns. They didn't ever ask them about the guns, didn't check no guns, none of that. And they were allegedly, was trying to rob them.
You going off the wall now.
Trying to rob
This is why he asked
Bentley.
you, what if they hit your baby trying to get at you? You tell him, you don't have a baby. My mom doesn't even come outside. I tell my mama not to come outside, right?
My mom is not living right now.
But she was back in 2015, right?
And my mama don't even come outside because she was old.
15.
I can't even count.
You had more than 5?
Yes. You can look it up in the DMV.
Okay.
If you want
Why
to.
you have so many cars?
Because I pay for them.
Okay.
That's what I like. I like to buy cars.
All right. Did you go with Mr. Copeland inside the police station?
No.
Why?
Because I always was directed by my attorney. If you're not being arrested, you do not have to talk to the police.
Did you tell Mr. Copeland that?
Yeah, but he insists on going in there. That's his business.
Did you tell Defendant Williams that?
No, man. No, me and Mr. Williams never had that discussion about was I going to go in or not.
But it was Defendant Williams who told you take him down there to talk to the police.
He didn't just say him.
What did he say?
Both of us could have went in there if we wanted to. I decided not to go in there.
Gatekeeper. So did you, when he told both of y'all to go, did you tell him, hey, my lawyer told me do not go talking to police?
I didn't have that discussion with Mr. Williams.
Why did you tell Mr. Copeland and not Mr. Williams, if I heard you right?
Because me and Mr. Copeland was in the car together. Me and Mr. Williams just in his place together. When I was taking Copeland, he was just like, I'm going in there. I said, I ain't going.
How long were you in the space with Mr. Williams before Mr. Copeland came?
I don't recall how long it was, Ms.love.
How long did you all talk about Donovan Thomas's murder before Mr. Copeland came?
We never really talked about it. When I brought it to his attention, he was so focused on the video at the time, so.
Do you remember what Defendant Williams' phone number was, the last 4 digits at that time?
I never knew, not saying I didn't have, never knew one of Mr. Williams' number by heart.
Did you know Mr. Williams to have more than one phone?
He's a rapper, I guess. Like.
Did you personally know him to have more than one phone?
Yes.
What did you and Mr. Copeland discuss on the way to the police station?
We really didn't discuss. He was just saying, I ain't doing it. I was telling him, I ain't doing it and I don't know nothing about it. So I wasn't going to talk to no police.
Okay. And what did you say in response?
What you mean?
When he said, I ain't do it, I don't know nothing about it, I'm going to go talk to the police, what did you say in response?
If you want to go talk to the police, go talk to them.
Did you wait on him after you let him get out?
No, why would I be sitting in front of a police station waiting on him to come out, not knowing how long they're going to be having him with me and my son and my mother uncomfortable?
Had anybody shot at any one of you all?
No.
Is Kenneth Copeland, forgive me for if you've already said this, but I don't remember, is Kenneth Copeland one of the people you count as somebody you loved back then?
I already answered that question for you yesterday.
I understand. Can you remind me, please?
You just said you...
Is he one of the people that you counted as someone you loved in 2015?
Yes.
All right. And did you have any sense of whether he was putting himself in harm's way going into the police station?
No, I thought going to the police is the safest thing.
All right. Then why didn't you wait on him if it was so safe?
Because he was in good hands.
Oh. Okay, fair enough. Did you go back and pick him up?
Stupid.
No.
Did you call him to check on him while he was there?
I think after he got through, he called me.
And what did you tell him?
What did I tell him?
Yes, sir.
I ain't tell him nothing.
Did he ask you to come pick him up?
No, he ain't had someone else to pick him up, I guess.
Okay. Did he tell you anything that he talked about with the police?
No, he never discussed anything he talked about with the police.
Hell no. Leave my uncle. My uncle Gaither alone.
Is that the only time that you
Alligator.
have taken Kenneth Copeland to the police station?
Yes.
Have you ever discussed with Kenneth Copeland anything that he told police at any time that he talked to them?
No.
Have you ever discussed with any member of YSL, without giving names?
What's stupid though, look, is that they don't have no evidence. Like they trying to use these false testimonies and coerced testimonies as evidence to prove all the crimes in this case. Like they still ain't brought no evidence. It's 100 days in. They ain't got no evidence proving nobody did nothing. What type of shit is that? Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend.
Anything that they told the police when they talked to them?
No.
To your knowledge, did Quindarius Zachary ever talk to the police in the months following Donovan Thomas's murder?
I don't know. You telling me something.
I am not telling you. I am asking you a question.
I don't never know if Quindarius was going to talk to the police.
Okay, so is it fair to say you never had a conversation with Quindarius Zachary about anything he said to the police?
No.
What about Demekion Garlington?
No.
All right. At any time, did you ever gain any information about anything any member of YSL told the police in 2015?
No.
Now, you said that you were charged or arrested for Donovan Thomas's murder. Was that in 2015 or later?
I want to say it was October 2015. I was already incarcerated for a charge, and one morning they came and told me I had first appearance. My lawyer ain't told me nothing about that.
Mm-hmm. And what happened at that first appearance?
They read out what they were charging me with.
Uh-huh. And then what happened?
They sent me back to my dorm.
At an impromptu news conference Thursday night, Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt admitted the sheriff's office owed money to its security contractor, Strategic Security.
So it's nearly $1 million that ultimately over 3 months that we actually, from the perspective of unfunded or being able to not fund that properly, we owed that, and obviously, like any good business, they wanted their money.
And that's exactly what Strategic Security Corporation told us in a statement, saying it deeply regrets the necessity of having to terminate security services at the jail because it could create officer safety issues. But the company felt the sheriff's office left them no choice. We asked Sheriff Labatt why they hadn't paid the company for its services in the last 3 months.
So this is a budgetary issue that we have continually fought for. And so we were not in a position. Again, we talked about the historic underfunding of the sheriff's office, and that played a large part.
The company said it terminated services at the jail at 5 p.m., but Sheriff Labatt says the company texted its workers to walk off the job much earlier in the day while they were trying to work things out with the company.
During our conversations today, during negotiations today, they actually told their people to abandon their post. And so at that point, I found that disingenuous, and we found a way to move forward.
Employees, other positions that they could transfer to. If they elect to stay on with the sheriff, then that's their prerogative, however they want to. I understand the sheriff's offer of enticing these employees by giving them a 10% raise. I understand.
Hey, what up, Julie? You just in time. This one of the clips I got from you right here. Appreciate the help, family. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tap in. Let's keep it going.
And that is something that's appealing to them. But you have to ask the question, if I was any one of these employees, if the company I work for was not getting paid, how am I going to get paid in the long term? In excess of $1 million.
Do you still claim to be a part of the YSL that you said you joined in 2012?
I don't claim nothing right now but me.
Okay. When did you stop claiming YSL?
I don't recall what year it was, Ms.love.
Do you recall what you were doing or what was happening around that time?
No, I don't recall.
Do you recall what made you stop?
Some things you just outgrow, Ms.love.
What was it that you outgrew?
I outgrow ripping anything.
Now, when you say you outgrow repping anything, what exactly are you talking about?
I'm saying anything. Neighborhoods, Zone 3. I used to say all that. Zone 3. I don't rep a lot of things, but I outgrow just doing whatever you do.
What made you outgrow YSL?
No personal reason.
Okay.
Like, you know, you get older and get out, and that's proof too that it ain't a gang because it ain't no blood in, blood out type shit. You gotta blood in, blood out with the gang. But hey, shout out to Sha Diggy. I just got your Cash App. Appreciate you, Ms.love. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all the support. We getting it in, family. Let's go. Shout out to Sha Diggy. Everybody show some love. Put a blue heart in the chat for Sha Diggy.
You mentioned hand signs or shapes with YSL that you became a member of in 2012. Were you wiping your nose? Were YSL members wiping their nose?
I wipe my nose.
Are you familiar with a group called Raised on Cleveland or Rock Crew?
I heard about it, but I'm not familiar with Raised on Cleveland. I heard about the Rock Crew. I heard Jay-Z claim the Rock Crew.
Have you ever heard a Cleveland Avenue group refer to itself as Raised on Cleveland or Raised on Bleveland?
Raised on Cleveland.
Have you ever heard Raised on Cleveland refer to itself as Raised on Bleveland, replacing the C with a B?
Maybe.
Do you remember where you might have heard it?
Just in the streets, people said it, like on Cleveland Avenue. I don't hear it like. I'm not from Cleveland, so I can't tell you, but I have heard people say it.
Yesterday, you talked about meeting a number of people on Cleveland Avenue. So how frequently did you find yourself on Cleveland Avenue back in 2012?
I just told you I can't remember now from 2012. How often I used to be over there, I can't tell you that.
Do you remember anything from 2015?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go on Cleveland Avenue in 2015?
I won't say I stayed on Cleveland Avenue in 2015. Well, off of Cleveland Avenue. It wasn't on Cleveland Avenue.
And when you heard people refer to Raised on Bleveland, have you also seen it abbreviated as ROB?
No, I used to see ROC.
Okay. Have you heard Jeffrey Williams reference Sex, Money, Murder in any of his songs that he's made under his record label?
Yes, I think I heard it in the song. I'm not for sure.
Have you heard any songs with lyrics ROB, SMM, now we YSL?
I don't recall that song.
Have you heard any song where Defendant Williams says slime thugger with it, slime DK with it, slime wicked with it, slack?
I most definitely heard of that song.
What's the name of that song?
I don't know the name of the song, but I know the song.
So do you recall that first line that I asked you about being a part of that same song?
You said me? Being a part of that song?
No.
Oh, okay.
The line ROB, SMM, now we YSL.
I never caught that part.
You never caught that part?
No, but I caught the part where you say what you said, slime, DK. I know that part.
Did we see a caption that you made under a post yesterday that said YSL won't fold?
Yes.
Is that also a line from one of the Defendant Williams songs?
I don't remember, but if on my basis it might be, I don't know.
Have you heard Defendant Williams referencing pick his ass off the balcony?
All music is entertaining, so he probably did say it in his song, but it's only entertainment. That don't mean what he rapping about in the song got to be something he doing.
Okay.
Anyone doing.
Did you understand me to be asking you about what he was doing or what
I'm
the
just
song
saying,
was?
that's what the song say, but that's your basic you trying to get at. I ain't retarded. I know your basic you trying to get at now.
Now, why do you suppose that you know my basis? Why are you answering questions in that way?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Do you recall hearing Defendant Williams?
Dang, I wasn't paying attention. Did I miss the part when she asked him about Rock Crew, about Raised on Cleveland, Raised on Cleveland? He was like, yeah, Jay-Z, he from Rock Crew too.
Referencing YSL, Wipe a Nigga Nose in one of his songs.
Yes, it's a song.
What did you understand that line in the song to mean?
I don't know. But my understanding, I just thought it was entertaining words, rhymes that go together. That's my understanding of it.
Okay. Now, have you ever appeared in any videos that were posted online with Defendant Williams talking about testifying in court?
You say a video?
Yes.
I've never seen me in a video with me and Jeffrey Williams talking about testifying in court.
Before yesterday, did an investigator, Lancico, meet with you, your attorney, and me outside of Fulton County several weeks ago?
Right.
And were you asked about a video that referenced testifying in court?
And I told you about that video.
What did you say?
That's Jeffrey Williams in the video. That's what I told you. You don't see me in a video.
Did I show you that video?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I'm not for sure.
Did I
don't
have a
recall.
computer with me?
You did have your laptop with you, Ms.love. Yeah, laptop and your phone with you.
Is it your testimony today that I opened up that laptop and pulled up a
I
video?
never said you opened it up. And of course, I seen the video all over the internet.
So
I didn't say you opened it up, but you brought it to my attention at the meeting that Jeff Williams and me in the video. And I told you, you don't see me in a video.
Let me ask you this. Did the question come to you, are you familiar with the video, or do you recall Jeffrey Williams' name being mentioned?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
Was it not you who said that wasn't me?
I still say it's not me. If you can't,
And did
I said it wasn't me because I don't see me in the video. So I don't know if I was there for the video or I wasn't. So I'm telling you it wasn't me.
When you said it was all over the internet, where did you see it?
I seen it on Instagram. It was on a lot of places when people showed the video.
When did you see it?
I can't recall when I seen it.
Did you see it since this trial started?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
Have you been watching or listening to other people's testimony?
No. I knew I couldn't watch the trial. My attorney advised me that you can't watch the trial, so that's why I never got it on.
All right, I'm going to show you what has already been admitted, Your Honor, but the number.
But if the judge or none of that didn't tell him he couldn't watch the trial before he testified, then how can they say he couldn't watch the trial? If nobody told him that, just his attorney. You know he been watching that shit.
Is not on the exhibit. So we would, for the purposes of this examination, label it 447 Yankee. We will not be tendering two separate copies.
All right.
Could you just pull it up? Don't put it.
You know what the original exhibit number is?
That was what we were trying to get our hands on. That was what was not on the list of exhibits. Either?
No, ma'am.
And number 6 on December 28, 2022. Did you understand it?
No, I didn't really understand that one either.
The paragraph underneath number 6.
I'd have been like, nope, I didn't have my medication that day. I was on medication. And the doctor, the jail refused to give me my medication, so I don't know what I said that day. I was out of my mind.
On page 6 of 7. Did you understand it?
No, because I never even read this. I didn't understand.
You did not understand that paragraph.
No.
Okay. We're going to backtrack just a little bit. Would you please turn to page 5? And now, going back to the true or false answers. If any part of the factual acknowledgments I'm about to ask you about are untrue, then please answer false as it relates to today. If they are true in their entirety, please answer true as your testimony today. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Number 14 on page 5 of 7 under the section labeled factual acknowledgement. Today is your testimony that it is true or false.
Truth, I can say truth about that.
Say that again.
True.
Okay.
You see her try to corner them in. They did them dirty. They didn't do Woody and what you calling them like that as much as she pressed on this one. She was like, she tried to let him know, like if you don't say what I want you to say, we coming back to put your ass in jail.
Number 15, true or false?
True.
Number 16, true or false?
I say false, but I don't agree with everything they say in it, so I say false.
Okay.
False.
Thank you. Starting with the first factual acknowledgement you said was false. Am I correct that it was number 7 on page 407?
Yes, I told you that one was false.
Everyone before that was true. Is that right?
No, I told Yes, I told you number 7, number 8, and number 9, and number 10 were false.
You said number 10 was false?
Yeah. Oh, no, I said it was true. My bad. I had to read it over. I'm sorry.
Okay. So as it relates to number 7, is it the portion before the first comma or after the first comma that contains what you now say is false?
I say the one false by told.
Okay. So is your testimony that you were never told?
I was never told.
Okay. Number 8. Which part of number 8 is false?
I misunderstood that the whole thing.
What did you misunderstand? What do you mean?
Because I didn't know it said, personally, I thought when my lawyer was explaining, he said responsible. I never knew it said personally, no, because I can't personally know it wasn't there.
What do you mean when you say you thought it was responsible?
Because I was charged with it, Ms.love. That's why. Okay. I was charged with the murder. So I was thinking like.
Were you indicted for murder?
No, I never got indicted for it.
Okay. So
I was charged.
Yes.
That he'd be allowed to finish his answers.
Let him explain.
Please continue.
Yes, I was charged by the DA office.
So
he
how
was
does
charged
that
with the
factor
same
into your
thing
misunderstanding
that y'all
about
trying
the
to
meaning?
charge somebody else with
said,
now, and want him to come and say,
defensive
point the finger at somebody else.
One or more YSL member that committed the murder. I don't personally know. I wasn't there, and no one never spoke it to me, so I can't say I personally know.
Okay.
If I personally knew I was there, I witnessed, I seen you do it.
Okay.
But other than that, I can't say I personally know that.
What about number 9? What part of number 9 is false? All of it or just some of it? As you testified today.
He gave YSL's associate money to lay low. And that's what it say right there?
Is it your testimony today that the portion that reads, he gave YSL Associates money to lay low, is false?
Yes, that's false.
Mr. Sledge, do you have any recollection of asking?
Well, what I would say, the word, you used the word lay low. I would have used the word to get family members out of harm's way. That's what I would have used. If I'd have gave you this, that's what I would have said. I wouldn't have said he gave us money to lay low.
Is it your testimony that you did not send those words to the state through your lawyer? Is that your testimony today?
I try to get my lawyer to change this because my words was to get out of harm's way. I don't know how it still became lay low. My words and the notes that my lawyer took down, it was to get me and my family out of harm's way because on January the 10th, I was accused of the murder.
Okay.
By the streets, not by your district attorney office.
Understood. All right. Thank you for clarifying all of that. At what point, Mr. Sledge, going now to the sentencing acknowledgments, starting with number 1, where you say you understand it today, but did not understand it on December 28, 2022. What happened to cause you to understand it?
What number 1 on the first page?
Page 5 of 7.
Yeah, so you lost it.
Under section 5. You want me to point it out? That one. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
All right. Do you recall telling the jury a few minutes ago, you understand it now, but didn't understand it on December 28, 2022?
I don't understand it now because I read it.
Is that the only thing that happened between today and December 28, 2022, which caused you to understand it, where you didn't understand it on December 28, 2022?
Yeah, I didn't understand on December 28, whatever day it was, because I actually didn't read it.
Okay. Did you hear it?
No, it was basically when certain things were said, I was stopping. So I don't recall this even being read to me.
Okay. What about number 2?
See, he's sliding in. I don't recall, like YP Comchick said, but the thing is that he's doing a whole explanation before the I don't recall. Like, nigga, if you don't recall, just say I don't recall. This nigga want to explain first, ain't after.
What happened to cause you to understand it today and not understand it December 28th of 2022?
I just said it wasn't read to me, but I actually reading it myself, I understood now. But on the day that I signed, I don't even recall this even being there. I just initial. It was never read off to me.
Is that the same answer for number 3,
Yes.
4, 5, 6, and the paragraph up under number 6?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. So, going back to page 3 of 7, number 1. Do you remember yesterday I asked you how were the crimes that you committed, how did you mean for them to boost the street credibility of YSL?
The boost the street credit of YSL,
yes.
brought females around, people wanting to hang.
Did it make people scared of YSL too?
No.
Is the crime that you were referring to in count 1 that drive-by shooting that you
I
committed?
thought we couldn't talk about that. The drive-by shooting.
Oh, yes, you can.
My drive-by shooting?
Your drive-by shooting?
Yes.
All right. And is it your testimony today that you committed or...
She said, oh, yes, you can, nigga. Yes, 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 you can.
Participated in that drive-by shooting?
Yes.
To boost the reputation of YSL to bring females around?
No, not. But what I was saying, like, I just don't think it was to boost the credibility. I never knew that the question even said to boost a notorious street credibility. I didn't know the question said that at the bottom. I knew about the top part.
All right.
That's why I signed to it, because I knew me and Zachary and Gunnington pleaded guilty to doing a drive-by shoot.
What about...
Okay. Disregard that anybody other than Mr. Sledge may have pled guilty to anything about this crime.
Right.
And I did admonish him of that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
He said, no, you didn't. Not today. Why she got to keep reminding her not to be leading them down these directions and shit? She doing that shit on purpose. Golden for a mistrial.
Not today. Probably yesterday, not today.
Number 3, as it relates to you only. How did threatening to harm Shell Kale count as you're acting on behalf of YSL? What did it do for YSL when you threatened to harm Shell Kale?
It didn't do nothing because me and Shell Kale seen each other 1,000 times and it never happened. So it didn't do nothing.
Because who in Shell Kale?
I said me and Shell Kale seen each other, me and him, seen each other 1,000 times and nothing never happened. So I don't...
You acknowledge within that statement that on behalf of YSL, you threatened to harm a person named Kale?
I never said I threatened. I said if he was looking for me, I had something for him.
Earlier we spoke about you having a conversation with law enforcement after this shooting occurred. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to ask you a few more questions.
I wanted to look at some of these witnesses they had. Like, why would you even bring them? Like, why would you even do this? It don't even make sense. Appreciate you being here, family. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend.
About that. Do you recall telling law enforcement
Rest in peace, Rich Homie
that you
Quan.
actually laid eyes on the front passenger of the vehicle?
I said that.
Okay. And do you recall telling law enforcement during your interview that you recognize the front passenger from the Mechanicsville area.
I said that. Hold on. I sustain the objection as to form.
Do you recall? I'll ask you a different question. Where, if anywhere, did you tell law enforcement if you knew?
I'm going to object to the reading question.
I sustain as to form.
Do you know where you saw the front passenger? Did you recognize the front passenger from anywhere?
I don't.
Are you familiar with the Mechanicsville area of Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if anyone involved that was in that vehicle was from that area?
Objection, Your Honor, ask the answer.
Or rule, sir.
You can answer that question.
I know one guy from over there. That area.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
It was one guy they called Woody. He's from over there in Parliament. I think it was Woody, whatever they call it. It's in it. It's in it.
Okay, let me ask you a better question. Do you recall telling law enforcement that you knew? It's a different question now.
I said it's still leading us to form, Mr. Brown. So figure out another way to ask the question.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Maybe who, what, when, where, why. Try that.
May we approach, Your Honor?
No. Maybe who, what, when, where, why. Ask the question.
It's impeachment.
No.
Still. You got him on direct.
Sure. Who, if anyone, that you described in your interview was from Mechanicsville?
Woody. I got his name. It's Woody something. Nickname. Woody, whatever.
Do you know, during your interview, do you recall providing a description of the person who was the first front seat passenger to law enforcement?
I had said that.
Okay. And do you recall, as a part of that description, providing any identifiers?
Right.
How did you describe the front passenger of that vehicle from where the shots rang out to law enforcement?
I said some I don't know, red, like brown, something like it. But at that time, I was going through so much, man, mentally. I was just want anybody to get locked up, man, for doing it to my friends. So I wasn't in my right frame of mind at the particular time, man.
Do you know what kind of...
The witness be allowed to finish his answer.
All right. That's just one of my right frame of mind.
Hold on. Sir, did you complete your last response?
Sir?
Did you complete your last response?
Yes,
That's what you're going to say?
No, that was it.
All right, okay.
Shout out to YP. No, that's not his dad. That was one of the smokers from around the way, like one of the fiends that used to be hanging out on the side of the barbershop, washing cars for, I don't know, maybe for crack rocks or $20 or something. No, I don't know if he did crack, but, maybe for a beer, I'll say.
What hairstyle, if any, do you recall the front passenger of that vehicle from where the shots rang out had?
I don't know, man.
If I showed you a transcript of your interview from the day that you spoke with law enforcement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
All right. Just a brief, law enforcement.
Hold on, look at how lost this dude. watch him run in circles.
I don't know, man.
If I showed you a transcript of your interview from the day that you spoke with law enforcement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
All right. Just a brief, law And I am going to approach the defense counsel with a copy of the same.
What exhibit are you going to mark it as, sir?
And just a brief indulgence. States Exhibit 323, Yankee Alpha 1.
One more time.
323, Yankee Alpha 1.
Yeah, he said Woody. He said, who you know from Mechanicsville? Woody. Something like that. Nickname Woody. Woody. How you see who he was and you can't even see nothing? And they talk about he was hanging out the sunroof.
For identification. Okay. Yes, sir. All right. And I do believe defense counsel was it provided a copy. And I am turning to page 18. And I'm starting at line 21. Line 25. And I will stop, Your Honor, on page 19 at line 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to read out loud what it is that I'm handing you.
Right.
I want you to start here,
Mm-hmm.
and then come over here and finish right here. And when you finish reading that, I want you to look up at me, okay? So from here to here.
All right.
1825, line 25, and page 19, lines 1 and 2. What do you recall having told law enforcement that the hairstyle of the front seat passenger was?
It was dread.
Dress. Do you recall, based on what you just read, what complexion you described the front seat passenger to have?
Yes, sir.
What complexion was it?
Brown skin.
Okay. And I'm going to just take this and close it because you can't read from it.
Okay. All right.
Not Ezel from Friday.
The age that you indicated the front seat passenger may have been. Is that enough?
I can't break it like on that.
Okay, no problem.
He said, smoke it. I'll clean up that shit for you for $20.
I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 323, Yankee Alpha 1 again, and I'm turning to page 20. And I'm going to direct your attention to line 6 of that page to line 8, okay? Mm-hmm. So from here, which is line 6, to line 8. And when you've read it, look back up at me, and I'll ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Okay, did you have a chance to fairly review that transcript?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about how old did you tell law enforcement that the front seat passenger was?
He's a young dude.
Okay, looking at me.
Right.
Okay, you said he's a young dude?
Right.
About how old did you tell him?
About 20.
Okay, all right. And do you recall about how tall you would have thought he was? Is that a no?
Yes or no?
Okay, I'm now approaching you again and directing your attention on State's Exhibit 323, Yankee Alpha 1, and I am showing you line 23 of page 20. Line 23 to line 24, these two lines. Here you go. Mm-hmm. When you've had a chance to read them, you can look at them.
All right.
Okay. What did you tell law enforcement on that day about his height?
By 5'8", 5'9".
Okay. I want you to look back up at me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you recall if that front seat passenger had any facial hair? Looking at me.
No.
Okay. You don't recall? I'm now approaching again to show you State's Exhibit 323, Yankee Alpha 1, and I am directing your attention to page 21 of that same exhibit, lines 2 through 3. And when you've read those lines, you can look back up at me.
All right.
Okay. What did you tell law enforcement and looking at me?
No facial hair.
No facial hair?
Right.
Okay. Now, I want to circle back to something you said earlier. What did you mean when you said that you told Detective Thorpe that you was messed up and wanted to get somebody locked up because of the situation? What was that?
My mind was messed up, man. I wasn't thinking clearly.
Can you move your hand for your mind?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking clearly, man. Wasn't in my right frame of mind at the particular time. Because all that was going on. I saw my friend got killed. So I just said I don't want anybody to go down who I thought had something to do with it.
And, but Is it fair to say that you weren't targeting any particular person?
No, I wasn't targeting.
Hold on.
I stand the objection.
Yes, Your Honor. Don't answer that question.
These witnesses will testify to whatever they're going to testify to, so.
The defense has done nothing.
I didn't say you did anything wrong. Okay, but I did.
What I've heard is that the state.
I didn't say you did anything wrong, but.
That's one of my favorite parts right there. I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
But I understand
Okay.
the defense has done nothing.
I didn't say you did anything wrong. Okay, but I did.
What I've heard is that the state.
I didn't say you did anything wrong, but.
I understand,
Okay.
Your Honor, but I just want to be clear. The only thing that I've heard today is that the state met with Kenneth Copeland without his attorney.
Are we going back to that again? I thought we.
I don't know of any
Okay.
defense counsel that's had any conversations with Kenneth Copeland at all. And I just want to make that clear. Today, I don't know of anyone that's had conversations with.
Okay, but he's their witness at this point in time. If he wants to talk to you or he doesn't want to talk to you, he's got a lawyer, and that lawyer can make that decision, and so can Mr. Copeland. So.
Situation because we
I understand that, but you can't let other people, and I would advise you not to let third parties influence what you may think a witness is going to do.
That's not happening.
Okay, and that's all I was trying to tell you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Judge, I would like to hear.
Yes, sir. What is it you'd like to tell me, Mr. Malnick?
Judge, I went back and reviewed my communications with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in relation to Kenneth Copeland, and I found communications as late as June 5th of last year where the Fulton County District Attorney's Office had reached out to me about speaking to Mr. Copeland. Speaking to Mr. Copeland concerning this trial, not about any other case, speaking with Mr. Copeland about this trial. Neither of these attorneys, no attorney at this table has ever attempted to contact me about Mr. Copeland.
And no, ain't nobody for me to think about picking up and wearing. Y'all ain't putting this type of shit. Y'all scared to wear this type of shit. So it always been like, you feel what I'm saying? For me, I wasn't never really tripping about what I'm saying I'm wearing. All that. It was more sort of shit. Like y'all keep saying this old funny style ass shit. Like our town know what's happening with us though. Outside of us don't, like I said, outside of the town don't really know us. So it's like,
yeah, and you guys, to clarify, you guys come from it's Cleveland, right? And just so the fan,
I'm from Jonesboro, south of the Cleveland Avenue area. I'm from the west side of Atlanta. I end up just migrating to Cleveland, like start hanging on Cleveland. I'm from the west side of Atlanta.
Okay, so you're from the west side of Atlanta. That's dope. So, and you guys being, I mean, at one point, definitely, you know, in the streets doing your thing, right? When people are starting to say those things, I can see where that could get on your nerves, and you're like, okay, man, don't try me the wrong way.
Yeah, for sure. And they called us to almost crash out a lot of times, but thank God that we just had enough sense to not let that shit bother us and move on with our music.
False flagging. How is it that you kept people that you observed?
You asking the same question, Ms.love, that I already answered. You asking it in a different way. Just move on to your next question. You asking the same question in 3-4 different ways.
Do you think that
Y'all, I need to take a break. My head hurt.
Even he sees cumulative. How the judge don't see it and just letting her keep asking the same shit over and over again.
You're probably not the only one, but we're going to wait a few minutes before we break again.
Y'all, I need to take a break. My head hurt.
You're probably not the only one, but we're going to wait a few minutes before we break again.
She making my blood pressure go up for real. I got high blood
Take some
pressure.
deep breaths.
Lee.
is If Gang one of the gangs that y'all did not allow to operate at 151 Cleveland and 221 Cleveland?
I don't know.
Did you ever see them operating there?
No, I never seen them in that area.
Jesse from the NAP says a witness or a defendant. It seemed kind of like both, huh? You a defendant and you a witness. Without even, you ain't on trial, but you is on trial.
When you say in that area, are you meaning in the Cleveland Avenue area?
Yes, I never seen in the Cleveland Avenue area.
Do you know what area If Gang generally occupied?
No.
Do you need me to get you some water?
I need you to just come on, let's get this over with. Because you keep asking me the same questions 3-4 times. My answer
I'm
not
try
going
and
to
get
change.
through it, okay?
Yeah, my answer not going to change.
Okay.
I'm answering to my best of knowledge.
Okay. Now, when you were talking earlier about the sentencing acknowledgments that you said you didn't understand on December 28th, 2022, but that you understand today. How did you, when did you gain your understanding of number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the paragraph underneath number 6 that you didn't have on December 28, 2022?
When I read them myself, I understood them a little better.
And did you review those with your lawyer of 15 years on December 28, 2022?
I don't remember because at that time I was going to a lot when my mother was sick. So I didn't remember. I don't remember.
Did your lawyer read them to you by any chance?
I don't remember. I don't remember, Ms.love.
Were you given, did you have to raise your hand and swear that you understood each of those sentencing acknowledgments in section 5 on pages 5 and 7? I'm sorry, 5 and 6.
What up, Kels? Thanks for joining.
I'll definitely raise my hand because I was desperate to get back to my mama when I took that plea. But I'm answering all my questions, all your questions to the best of my knowledge.
Thank you. So let's talk about getting back to your mother.
I don't want to talk about my mother.
I'm going to not talk about your mom, okay?
Yeah.
I'm talking about what you just
Talk
told
about
the
my
jury.
mama?
Were you in Rice Street at the time that you went over these acknowledgments with your lawyer?
I consider this courthouse as Rice Street, so yes.
All right.
I was Rice Street property.
Did you ask him questions?
Did I ask who questions?
Your lawyer?
Yeah, I told him a lot of things that you stated on this paper wasn't what I said, so some of the stuff I didn't agree to.
Did you ask him to come back and tell somebody from the state?
He did come back and tell you from my knowledge.
So while you were asking him and telling him that, did you also ask him what the sentencing acknowledgments meant?
No, I didn't ask that question.
Is there any particular reason you didn't?
I just told you I was just trying to get my sick mother.
Okay. All right. Murder, assault, and threats of violence.
You said, did I?
Did you conspire with others?
No, not by my knowledge.
To participate in this enterprise that is YSL?
I'm answering no to that question. I don't
Okay.
understand it.
Did you and other YSL members act in any way to protect or preserve or enhance the reputation and power of YSL by posting messages, images, videos, and songs that demonstrated your allegiance?
She's saying, did y'all conspire? Like they was sitting around in the room like, all right, look, we gonna post this, and then when we post this message, it's gonna blow us up, right? Like, no, this is all just like natural flow shit. Like it ain't all planned out like, yo, bullshit ass plans that don't even work and be falling apart.
to YSL and your willingness to engage in violence on its behalf? Your Honor, this is a...
Also going to object to leading.
To what?
Leading.
I'm going to overrule that one. What are you saying, Ms.love?
That these are things we allege that this witness has stated or agreed to. He has, on December 28th, 2022. I'll just leave it at that.
Guilt, it takes away the presumption of innocence, Ms.love reading an indictment and asking the witness. If I'm going to say more.
Well, I mean, she's asking him if he did.
Yes, Your Honor, that.
You said we.
Yeah.
That's not the question. Did Mr. Sledge and others.
Right.
Well, you rephrased it that way, so I think you need to stick to the phraseology that you're permitted to ask, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Did you conspire with other members of YSL to preserve, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise known as YSL by posting messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating your allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf?
I sustain the same objection.
All right, that's overruled.
You may answer the question.
Could you repeat it?
Yes. Did you conspire with other members of YSL to preserve, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of YSL by posting messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating allegiance to YSL and a willingness to engage in violence on behalf of YSL? Did you do that?
Yes.
All right. At any time, did you remain armed and ready and willing to preserve, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of YSL through the use of violence?
No, I stay armed for myself. No.
Did you conspire with any other YSL members to do that?
No.
You may.
Okay. Did you obtain, or did you conspire with others to obtain money, weapons, and other property through acts including robbery, theft, and the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs?
No.
Did you conspire with other members of YSL to obstruct law enforcement investigations and court proceedings through witness intimidation and attacks upon law enforcement officers?
Could you repeat that and make it, could you say it where I can understand?
Yes.
Because I didn't understand what you were saying.
And you're going to have to tell me which part you're not understanding.
I
Okay?
don't understand the whole question, whatever you say.
Did you and other members of YSL with you, did y'all conspire to obstruct law enforcement investigations and or court proceedings through witness intimidation and attacks upon law enforcement officers?
Ms.love, make sure
Yes, Your Honor.
that you're asking about what he did, and he can. I mean,
Going off the rails again, Ms.love. Keep your ass stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
and he understood all of the other ones
There's too many shakies, Ms.love.
that you asked him. So
Okay.
it's not the beginning of that question that seems to be confusing him.
I'll break it up.
Why don't you-
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
okay, sustained.
All right. Did you and other members of YSL, did you ever?
That's the issue. That's one of the issues.
We at
Okay.
YSL.
Did you conspire with anyone within YSL?
No.
to, all right, did you ever, through witness intimidation, make any efforts to obstruct law enforcement investigations and court proceedings?
No.
Okay. I'm going to show you what we have marked as State's Exhibit 430.
You lie to your kids, you lie to your mama, but you get in the courtroom and in the investigation room and tell them punk ass people the God honest motherfucking truth. Pussy ass.
Don't that hurt her case more? Like, don't that prove like he's saying like either he lying or he switched up to something else, like he's a better person now because he wouldn't have testified, or he on the stand telling everything except the God's honest truth. So either way, it looked bad for her. Well, I don't know why the fuck she played it. She just looked dumb again.
Mr. Sledge, do you recall when you
Like I said, witness or defendant.
made that video?
No, I don't know the date.
Did you put that video on your own social media account?
Yes.
Do you recall when you put it on your social media account?
No, I don't recall when I put it on.
Are you able? We're going to put it up for you and ask you if you can read. We're going to put up
About that shooting.
I never told.
I apologize. Under 403, a waste of time. I apologize.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem to be. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow, and you can, when we're not when the jury's time is not being taken up. And
Hold on, y'all caught that? She's about to say when we not wasting the jury time. She did that on purpose too. I'm gonna play it back for y'all. When we not
I can.
Yes.
Maybe
yes.
you talk about it tomorrow.
So
I apologize. Under 403, a waste of time. I apologize.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem to be. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow, and you can, when we're not when the jury's time is not being taken up, and I can.
Yes.
Maybe
yes,
you can
Your
help
Honor.
me to understand how it's relevant. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And honestly, I think we may just break here for the afternoon.
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
actually, then maybe you could tell me before we leave, but
Yes, Your Honor.
without the jury being here. So y'all are getting to go a little bit early today. Same instructions as always. Don't talk about the case with anybody. Allow anybody to talk about it with you. Try to avoid any kind of discussion, media coverage, any social media, anything about this case or anybody that's involved in it. Have a pleasant evening, and we'll see you in the morning. Mr. Sledge, you need to be back here at 9.
yes, ma'am.
All right.
They're gonna get scared. Yo, YP, what you asked me to rewind?
All right, Ms.love, if you want to try to explain the relevance or how it's getting to something relevant. And we'll see discussion. Talk about the case with anybody. Allow anybody to talk about it with you. There, y'all just break.
Yes.
Maybe
yes,
you can
Your
help
Honor.
me to understand how.
Talk
it's
about Whitaker.
Yes, Your Honor.
And honestly, I think we may just break here for the afternoon.
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
actually, then maybe you could tell me before we leave, but
Yes, Your Honor.
without the jury being here. So y'all are getting to go a little bit early today. Same instructions as all, maybe, you know, when the jury's time is not being taken up, and I can.
Yes,
My bad, I
yes,
just want to
help me
catch
to
that.
understand how
When she not wasting time, then I'll fast forward it back.
I think we may just break here for the afternoon.
Yes,
And
yes, Your Honor.
And honestly, I think we may just break here for the afternoon.
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
actually, then maybe you could tell me before we leave, but
Yes, Your Honor.
without the jury being here. So y'all are getting to go a little bit. You got it tomorrow, and you can when we're not.
My bad, family. I missed it.
When the jury's time is not being taken up, and I can.
Yes,
maybe
yes,
you can
Your
help
Honor.
it tomorrow, and you can when we're not waste. You know. When the jury's time is not being taken up, and I can.
Yes,
maybe
yes,
you can
Your
help me
Honor.
to understand how it's relevant.
There you go. My bad. When you're not when the jury's time not being taken up.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And honest.
Is in charge of
Sure.
a lot of the state's theory is that Mr. Williams is in charge of a gang and the gang does crime on his behalf. He asks for it and they do it. We deny that. I heard the court say and I heard the prosecutor say that this is inculpatory, no exculpatory. Everything could be inculpatory or exculpatory.
Okay, can I just,
Of course.
I didn't say it's inculpatory. I don't know. I said the state, if I said that, I'm repeating the state's maintaining that it's only inculpatory.
Understood.
But, okay, go
and
ahead.
appreciated. And all I want to make the court aware as you go through decisions is if we knew about Mr. Boyer, then what I would have done is found out if he has a lawyer, because he's in custody, it sounds like, contact his lawyer, ask if I could go with the lawyer and Miss Adams, when I say me, and Miss Adams, and an investigator, and interview him. And he may give information that's very hurtful to me. He may give information that is very beneficial to Mr. Williams. I don't know. My point is, though, that the state has no ability to know what's helpful or hurtful to Mr. Williams, and we have a right to investigate. So I just wanted that on the record as well, in case this
Okay.
goes up. Thank you.
I don't disagree. Thank you. All right, Ms.love, if you're at a stage where you can shed any further light on anything, great. If not, we'll take it up after lunch.
I'd like to take it up after lunch if the court
Okay.
allow me.
No, sir.
Where were you the day that you passed away?
I was I was right there on McDaniel Street.
Can you tell the jury how that day started? Were you-
I was just leaving my rooming house, and I was going to get me a haircut. I supposed to be going to the movie that night, so it was about 50 people out there, everybody rushing in the barbershop
Why were people rushing to the barbershop?
to get a haircut.
Was
Why did they choose these witnesses? Look at this dude. Why would you bring him in as a witness? You know he ain't about to tell the truth.
did you, when you got to the barbershop, do you remember around what time you got there?
Around about 6 or 7.
And when there's a lot of people at the barbershop, how does it work when you're waiting for a haircut? You have to take a ticket, you have to take your name, how does it work?
You gotta just wait on your turn.
Now, did you wait inside or outside the barbershop?
Outside.
I'm going to publish what's already been admitted as 6 Yankee, Your Honor. Mr. Hendricks, in a couple seconds, photographs going to appear on that same screen. And is this the barbershop?
No, Mr. George barbershop.
And so,
We ain't got folk pulling.
now, the day that Young was killed, would you see him often?
Yes.
Was he moving any different in that time frame?
Yes, like he felt something, like he wasn't acting like himself. Like he knows something, it was something in the air.
Now, I'm going to publish, Mr. Hendricks, what's been marked as, and already admitted as 2.
Facts at Julie. I think it was like around close to 9 o'clock, between 8 and 10, but the video shows that nobody was in there getting their hair cut. They was the barbershop was closed. Like, there was people in there chilling, but wasn't nobody in there working.
92 Yankee Golf. Another photograph is going to come up on that screen. Now, I'm going to help clear this. I'm going to ask you if you see Now, what were you wearing that night, Mr. Hendricks?
I had on a black leather coat. I probably had on a t-shirt.
Do you see yourself in this photograph?
I can't really tell, but I was in the area. I know I was right there somewhere because he was right there.
Do you see Don Thomas in this?
Right there.
Can you draw a circle around him? Now, Mr. Hendricks, do you see someone with a black leather jacket in this photograph?
I can't really tell.
Sorry. I'm gonna. Also, does Don Thomas have anything on his head?
Yeah, skull cap.
Is that what he had that night?
Yeah, he had a black skull cap, I think.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness what's been already admitted as 215 Yankee Alpha. If any defense counsel wants to see it, okay. Now, Mr. Hendricks, I'm going to give you some gloves. I'm going to ask you to open this to see what's inside of it, and if you recognize it.
Want to put them on?
If you don't mind, sir. You can.
Look how long it take them to put these gloves. He ain't never worn gloves a day in his life. Shout out to my dude, man. He like a cool character, though. I'm sure he cool, but man.
Now, Mr. Hendricks, I'm handing you what was inside of 215 Yankee Alpha. You let me know if you recognize that.
No, I don't recognize this.
Okay. That's perfectly fair. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All that for that.
I'll
For him to
grab
say I
it.
don't recognize it.
Thank you. Now, how close were you to Nut while you were standing?
On me, I'd say I saw Fanny. Right now, it'd be the perfect time to include Fanny. I'd be like, she told me to do this. She set me up to do it.
Outside, waiting for your haircut.
I real close. All of it right. I think didn't it? I think he had made it in there to get his haircut. I think he did.
And you said he had gotten his haircut and came outside?
Right. I think he did make it in there.
Now, while you were outside, was there anyone else you knew other than Peanut?
Yeah, it was a lot of it from the neighborhood. Some of them little boys from Summer Hill right now who doing all the funny movement. How they were going back and forth. You could tell something was going on.
Did you see anyone you knew as Tiger out there?
Yeah, he was out there.
How old would he have been back then?
Probably about 14.
Now, while you were standing, is this the photograph that's on the screen? Is this where, well, let me ask you this. While you were out there at this location standing next to Peanut, did anything happen?
Somebody at night.
Correct.
Like, be honest, like, we standing right there, so have a great Pontiac pull across. It slow rolled across.
before it happened, before the Pontiac pulled out, I told you about the funny movement going on. Like it was a call came through. So him, they had the car had pulled out there when the Pontiac slow rolled across the barbershop. And it came out the T. They shot like 3 times when we walked see we got some guns. Soon they got right up by the nut. And when all the commotion happened.
I want to break some of that down. So
He said it was a call came through. I asked this before. Why they don't got no camera footage of the front view? Like I'm sure it was a lot of cameras around there. You got cameras. Why would you not have a forward facing camera from the front of the shop? I don't get it.
you see how there's some headlights on the photograph on screen? Was the car that you saw, was it coming that way down?
They were coming across from Mechanicville way.
Would that be
The railroad.
YP, that's this dude right here who said they locked the door. And the door wasn't locked, but that's him right here.
Tracking.
Okay. So you see how there's that light pole in this photograph on screen, Mr. Hendricks?
It came from that way.
Okay. The same way that that car is traveling?
Yeah, it came from that way.
And what stood out about the car that you saw? I mean, in terms of what drew your attention to it?
It slow rolled across, and first thing, it creeping across. Like on boys, you watching boys, anybody seen boys in the hood, you know it's a drive-by.
Were you able to get out anything before?
I tried to get it out before I get ready to tell them drive-by. They was already at the one, at the T.
And when you say out the T, what do you mean by that?
At the sunroof.
What was the person out the sunroof doing?
He had a chopper with the mask over his face.
And did you see, what was that person that was with the chopper outside the sunroof doing? Were they looking around? What were they doing?
Like, basically, they were looking for their man. You know, you ride by, they say on the shooter, you ride by looking like, where he at? You hit right here just to make the crowd move, and you went straight at your target.
Now, when that car got closer to where Peanut was standing, was there more or less shots?
All the shots.
And when you say a chopper, what do you mean by that?
A Honda shot, machine gun.
If you remember or recall, about how many shots did you hear from that machine gun?
Probably about 100.
Now, after the shooting starts, what did you do? What did you get shot? Let me ask you that.
Yes, sir.
Where did you get shot?
In the back.
Do you still have a scar there today?
Yes, sir.
Did you initially realize that you got shot?
I didn't know I was shot at first.
What?
Why you raise his hand and say he got shot? Yo, shout out to Rochelle Ingram. Y'all know the last case Fonnie took as a lawyer was YSL Mondo, and after his case, she became a DA and brought on the RICO against YSL. That's suspicious as fuck. That's a fact. And another question is, what other cases did she have before then? Because I was searching all over, and I can't find none of that. She started in 2018. That case with Mondo was in 2019. But I don't see nothing, no other cases about her being a defense attorney or any information about her being a defense attorney except for that 2018 to 2019. So that's facts. What was that about? Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Tap in, share with a friend.
Did you do immediately after the shooting?
I had laid, be honest, I had laid down that little tiger. I told him to play, don't move. Play dead, you feel me? I had said him like, he gonna get back up and hop and try to run.
And so you told Little Tiger to stay down?
Yeah.
Was he shot as well?
He got shot in the leg.
Now, I'm going to publish what's already been admitted as 15 Yankee. Mr. Hendricks, another photograph is going to come up. I'm going to clear this. It's going to pop right back up.
Let's see.
Do you see the area where Blue Tiger went to after the shooting in this photograph?
We were right up by the car area. We were right up in that area somewhere.
On the ground?
So if they was on this side of the car on the ground, how did he see Nut spitting blood out his face on the whole other side of the car in front of the barbershop? And how did he know the door was locked? How did he see anything about the door if they was on the ground on this side of the car?
To the right, on my right.
Did you call out for any help?
Somebody who was on the ground. Everybody was already at though.
Initially, did people realize that you and Tiger were back there?
Yeah. Eventually, yeah. It took a little minute, cause everybody was stuck. Cause like when Nut got shot, I seen the blood spit up out his mouth and everything.
Now, I'm gonna go back to 14 Yankee Mr. Hendricks. There's gonna be another photograph that's gonna come up. Do you see what direction or where did Nut go after he was struck?
He was right at the barbershop. He was going at Nard barbershop. He was back and he shooting, but he going back. He going trying to get in the barbershop
To try to get to safety?
Right, try to get to safety.
Can you use this marker and just draw a big circle to the area that Nut ran to after the shooting?
Right.
Did he ever make it inside the barbershop?
He shooting. He trying to open up, but somebody locked the door.
Now, did any medical personnel ever come out to treat you that night?
I went to Grady. Basically everybody met up at Grady. I seen when they rushed Nut to the hospital. I was awoke.
He said he shooting. Okay, that's another part too. Look, he said he went to Grady, right? And he saw Nut coming in, and he was already at the hospital. But Nut was the first one going in the ambulance, right? Didn't they take Nut first, and then the other ambulance came and got the rest of the dudes like 10, 20 minutes later? I don't know. I got to go back and watch the video, but I remember Nut leaving first. Let me know if I'm wrong.
I seen when they brought him through.
You were already at Grady?
Yeah. I seen when they were pushing him through.
And did you get there via an ambulance?
Yes, sir.
How long were you, or did you have to stay there sometime?
I had stayed there probably like a week.
Now, Mr. Hendricks, I'm also going to publish what's already been admitted as 223 Yankee. Another photograph's going to pop up on that same screen. Do you recognize what that is, Mr. Hendricks?
Phone? Look like my phone.
It looks like your phone?
Yeah.
Did you lose your phone?
Yes.
I'm going to also show you what's already been admitted as 216 Yankee. Another photograph is going to come up, Mr. Hendricks. Do you recognize that phone?
No, I don't know whose phone that is.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying I couldn't find Mondo cases. Mondo got cases, even recent cases. We played some of them on this channel recently. but I mean, Fonnie, as a defense attorney, like, when was she doing that? What other cases did she help? Who else did she help except Mondo? He was like, yeah, she helped me out like a motherfucker.
Now, after you got out of the hospital, did you still hang out? Now,
phone?
I'll also show you what's already been admitted as 216 Yankee. Another photograph is going to come up. Do you recognize that phone?
No, I don't know whose phone that is.
Now, after you got out of the hospital, did you still hang out or frequent in the Daniel area?
No, I think I had one on my baby mama house.
Hold up. Chad, my black is golden, said he got hit by a sharpno in the war on drugs.
building?
Yeah, when he started shooting back, they thought he probably wasn't gonna shoot back. That made them pull off though. That made them move.
It made the car keep moving?
Yeah, when he started shooting back, they thought he probably wasn't gonna shoot back.
So, you're talking about after the shots in the...
Right. So when they got to shooting, not shooting too, but when he started shooting back, that what made him speed off.
After they shot the automatic fire at him? Mr. Hendricks,
Hold on. I'm going to overrule the objection. Go ahead.
you can answer.
Objection.
I sustain that one now.
Mr. Hendricks, did you testify about what a chopper was?
Facts at Julie, that's what it looked like, because I don't see no other cases. And even that one they pulled down, I was trying to find a video, because it's a video out of the Mondo trial with Fonnie, and she told the judge let him see his baby, but I can't find the video. They removed it.
Yes.
Did you say it was a machine gun?
Yes.
I apologize. I said automatic weapon is a... Did you, after you heard the machine gun fire, you said about 100 rounds. Was it after that you're saying Donald Thomas fired back?
Like when they shot, he started shooting too. That what made him speed off fast. So when they shoot, he had to shoot too, cause he don't have a gun on.
After they shot at him.
Right. They shot first.
Hold on. Hold on. Ms. Westmoreland, what was the base for your objection? Mr. Shart, asked and answered. Mr. Shart, what's the base? Okay, both objections are overruled.
Did you earlier say that you just wanted to get someone locked up?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay. Were you willing to lie to just get someone locked up?
Yeah, being in my frame of mind, yes, I will.
What did he say? Was you willing to lie?
Did you earlier say that you just wanted to get someone locked up?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay. Were you willing to lie to just get someone locked up?
Yeah, being in my frame of mind, yes, I will.
Were you as truthful as you could be during that time that you were interviewed by law enforcement to provide them with complete and accurate answers?
No, I wasn't.
What did you say to law enforcement on that day that you believed to be the truth?
I believe to be the truth of when I explained it when the guy was coming down north, Mike Daniel. Yeah, when the guy was coming down, the whole truth is when the guy was coming down Mike Daniel Street, is the truth. He stopped right there by the, he came from the barber shop, came out the sunroof, he started firing, and kept straight on down Mike Daniel, then hit the right on North Side Drive. For like saying as he made a right at the Texaco and went up North Side. That's why to be the truth,
Were the descriptions that you provided of the front seat passenger the truth?
Okay, Lamar Cook says she had 3 cases. Okay, that's new info. I'm gonna have to see if I can find them.
No.
Okay.
Appreciate you being here.
Was the sounds of the firearms that you heard to be discharged the truth?
That's the truth.
Where you went to help Nut after he hit the ground, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
Was what Nut told you when he was when you went and put your arms around him the truth?
That's the truth.
When Rev came out of the barber shop, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
When you stopped to get up off of the ground after you saw the vehicle come down the McDaniel Street, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
Is the fact that you watched vehicles in that area the truth?
The truth.
All right. When you talked to the detectives, was I in the room?
No, sir.
Okay. When you talked to law enforcement, were these jurors in the room?
No.
Okay. Were any of the defendants...
Look, Love wrote that shit. That's her favorite question. Was I in the room? Was this jury in the room? What the fuck did that got to do with? No, but it was police. It was guns. This judge was probably in the room. And the ex parte.
On this case, inside the room.
Hold on. I'll sustain the objection.
They've been playing catch up on older invoices due and never have been able to pay the entire principal due. And for the last several months, since February of 2024, have been severely delinquent. I go into detail about what aspects of the jail could be vulnerable because we did work shoulder to shoulder with the sheriff's deputies, and we have developed a relationship with them. So we're not, for any amount of money, going to compromise our ethics or our moral obligation to them and divulge any operational security reasons that would compromise the security of the jail. Has contacted us post the sheriff's press release.
Last week, a few of your security officers were arrested in an investigation regarding the Fulton Sheriff's Office. Is there any connection between those arrests and the dispute that you and the sheriff have had for the last few months?
It is not a dispute. The sheriff has praised and given us accolades, and even in his press release last night, said that he wants to get us paid and give us accolades for the job that we have done. As far as your first question.
What, Julie, you mean who was in the silver car? You already know who was in the silver car. Woody and Demikian Garlington, Lil D. Allegedly. I mean, supposedly. I mean, whatever that word is, but hypothetically, it was Lil D. And maybe, possibly, Threat might have been in there too.
Question regarding any synergy or connection there. No, there has not. Unfortunately, that was bad actors that have went through a thorough background and screening process, which includes a psychological test, a drug analysis test, a criminal history test, a credit test, a reference test, a education and experience check. And these things, unfortunately, are the things that we can measure and check when we're hiring somebody. We cannot measure and check what's in somebody's mindset when they look to do something. And with any bad actors, we fully cooperate with law enforcement so that they can be brought to justice, just as the sheriff does when his deputies, as they were just recently, involved in an altercation at the jail. His explanation and his staff's explanation when it initially first started was the check was in the mail. Then it was a wire transfer. Obviously, there was no wire transfer. There was no check in the mail. Then it was a cyber attack. There was no proof or given to us that they had suffered a cyber attack and that delayed their payment systems. Then it was just a whole nother series of events and incidents and excuses why we never received payment for services rendered. As far as yesterday, that was the first time in several months after reaching out to the sheriff that he finally did contact me back. And we spoke, and his answer was that we simply just don't have the money.
Briefly ask counsel for the plaintiff if you want to respond. I mean, you mentioned this concern. I understand that I can, if you're willing to waive notice, can sort of hear that evidence now, but I mean, it really is. I'm just wondering if it's going to be too difficult to separate these things out in terms of the substance of the requests that were made, separate from the efforts made to locate, because the types of documents that might exist is a different discussion than what reasonable efforts did you undertake to locate documents that might be responsive to the request.
Here's a little bonus we ain't heard too much about. Y'all know Fonnie Willis had a court date today. And the judge dismissed her as a personal person, but kept her as the ADA, which is retarded as fuck. She basically just cleared her. And who was the judge? Don't that name look familiar? Rachel Krause again? What? Is she moving on up the ladder? Is that what happened with the whole ex parte save Glanville shit?
Which does go to the issue of mootness, which is part of the motions to dismiss.
Yeah, Your Honor. I mean, the strict
tenets of 12b6 say you're confined to the four corners of the complaint.
Yep.
I have to concede that because that's the truth. So if Your Honor wants to hear any evidence that's not in the complaint or the second amended complaint or not attached to the complaint, you're going to have to either allow evidence on the motion, which would then presumably convert it into a Rule 56 motion, requiring notice to us, which we've obviously waived. We intended, based on Your Honor's instruction, to question these witnesses about the very things that you have talked about. So the presentation of the evidence is geared around the efforts they took or did not take and what issues are still outstanding with regard to at least 4 requests. So that is the focus of the inquiry, and I do believe it is tied to the motion to dismiss issues, but I think if you go beyond the 4 corners, you're going to convert it into a different motion. On the other hand, you could simply deny some or all of the motions, which would then allow us to vet the issues in discovery.
Y'all see that merchant law firm? That's Mr. and Miss Merchant down there. You know, they with the case.
And to the extent the county or anybody else who's left in the case any issues with the scope of discovery, it would proceed like a normal civil case.
Okay. And then thank you. And that directs me back to Ms. Monroe. Let's assume for a moment that the court, that one of the defendants is going to remain in this case as a potentially appropriate defendant, to seek to enforce Open Records Act remedies against. What is your suggestion for dealing with the mootness issue in terms of either allowing for some very brief discovery period or scheduling a substantive evidentiary hearing at a fairly close from now, but later in time, date to discuss the substantive issues of the
in the event that the court finds that the defendants in this case should not be dismissed from this action. And this was only pertaining to, I believe, the district attorney's office. That was only found in the motion to dismiss for the district attorney's office, not in the other motions. That was just to basically be addressed in an evidentiary hearing. But the goal was for the court to rule on the motions as to who would be the defendant to be sued or dismiss the complaint altogether. But assuming that the court were to find that there was a defendant liable under this action, and that was a defendant that was named in the caption, we would then proceed, once the ruling was made on my motions, to an evidentiary hearing if the whole action was not dismissed altogether. If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm being clear.
It does. No, I understand your position. But the next question then is, if the court were to, again, let's assume for a moment that some defendant is going to stay in this case. Mm-hmm. What is your preference or suggestion about what to do next? Would you, really the options are some expedited brief discovery period, and or a fairly expedited soon, to be scheduled in the near term.
This ain't too long, family, but she about to save Fanny again. Dismiss her from the case, but keep her on at the same time.
To address these issues, or both. Any or all of the things that y'all pick and that I decide on, or I'm telling you going to be expedited because that's how the statute is designed. Right. But my question to you is, what is your preference? And what, if it's a discovery period, what do you think is a reasonable time period for that?
So no, this is a very straightforward case, in my opinion. So I don't believe discovery, there would be any need for discovery. Mm-hmm. So it would be my preference to just move forward on an evidentiary hearing in the event there is a defendant that would be held liable under this action.
Okay. Miss. Yes.
Quickly.
I was just about to call on you, so yes, please.
Okay, so I think one wrinkle here is I think Your Honor has the ability today to rule on the motions, and if Your Honor does that, then
I intend to.
Yeah, then 2 things happen. The automatic stay that's set forth in 911-12F goes away.
Right.
So once the stay is lifted, then Your Honor would have the ability today and tomorrow to hear the evidence. The hearing, our concern, Your Honor, is that based on the history, that as soon as we attempt to conduct any discovery, whether it's 2 weeks of discovery, a month of discovery, there are going to be motions filed that prevent us from accessing information from witnesses. Whether it's going to be a motion for a protective order or some sort.
And so what they're talking about is information that's supposed to be public, but they hiding it or acting like they can't find it, and same shit they've been doing everywhere. Ain't got the paperwork, hiding shit, same shady ass shit they've been doing everywhere.
of motion under 91137. I don't know what it might be, but it's going to delay the proceedings. So I would caution Your Honor, if the court is inclined to move with some speed here. And that
I am inclined to move with speed. I only inquired about discovery because I didn't know the extent to which either party is interested. It sounds like Ms. Monroe's response is that she thinks an evidentiary hearing is the better course, and it sounds like you do as well. So I think that addresses that issue.
Yeah, and I do want to just highlight, Your Honor, I think the issue of mootness has been introduced today. Through counsel. I don't think the issue of mootness is relevant for purposes of the 12b6 motion because the complaint as it stands without evidence says that they have not complied with the law. They have not complied with the statute. That is accepted as true at this stage of the proceedings. So to the extent that she's arguing outside the pleadings that some or all of these claims are now moot, I get the practical piece of it. We have alleged that they are not moot in some form or fashion and that a lot of these requests are still outstanding. So the issue itself, as pled in the complaint, is sufficient to defeat the motion on its face. So we would just our preference, Your Honor, in terms of timelines would be for Your Honor to rule today or as soon as practical. Since we have the witnesses here, perhaps bring them back in short order to proceed because I think the parties agree the issues are fairly narrow, but still contested.
Understood. Ms. Monroe, anything to add on that issue?
I have nothing to add, Your Honor, nothing else.
Okay. Okay, so as I have, I think, made pretty clear, I am somewhat frustrated by the idea that there are 4 defendants and none of them are somehow responsible for producing documents, despite the fact that some documents have been produced. And clearly there are people whose job it is to receive these requests and process these requests and attempt to secure discovery. I'm sorry, attempt to secure requests, the responsive information. So here's what I am left with. Again, I will say how much I would love it if the Supreme Court had given me the answer, because as it stands, I'm going to give you the answer I think is appropriate, and the Supreme Court may tell me I'm wrong in any moment. So, there's that to look forward to. Having said all of that, I think I've made very clear, I understand the effort at the distinction, but I struggle to see how Fonnie Willis individually is an appropriate defendant here. Because she was not served. I understand that she received internally probably requests. She was not served with a formal request for records that she was in possession of, other than to the extent that the Fulton County DA was served with a request. And so I have real concerns about that, and I understand.
So she said Fonnie Willis was not served, but the Fulton County DA was served, which is still Fonnie Willis. But it's a difference between the regular Fonnie and what she call it, Madam Fonnie.
And the import, because of the concern about immunity that potentially attaches to Madam DA Fonnie Willis. But I think there's a distinction for a reason. And so I am going to grant the motion to dismiss Fonnie Willis in her individual capacity. Having said that, however, I'm denying the motion to dismiss Fonnie Willis as the DA, and I'm denying the motion to dismiss the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and here's why. Number one, as to Madam DA Willis, the District Attorney, I agree, has some broad immunity that attaches, but I agree with the plaintiffs that the traditional understanding of immunity that attaches to a District Attorney was not intended to limit or inhibit the public's right to access non-prosecutorial documents, non-investigative documents that are held by the District Attorney. And I think that if the legislature had intended so, it would have exempted District Attorneys generally, and it did not. And so for that reason, I'm going to deny the motion to dismiss as to District Attorney Willis. I am also going to deny the motion as to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. And I do that with the most hesitance because clearly the Fulton County District Attorney's Office is not a legal entity that can be sued in any capacity. However, I don't think there's any way to read the Open Meetings Act provisions that are adopted by reference in the Open Records Act provisions without understanding that the Fulton County District Attorney's Office is an office, agency, department, etc. of Fulton County or of the state, and therefore would be subject to the Open Records Act requirements. As to Fulton County, I do have concerns, as Ms. Monroe pointed out, that any ruling that I make be understood as overly broad in the sense that any request submitted to any department of Fulton County using its portal somehow makes the entirety of Fulton County responsible. And that is definitely not going to be my ruling. However, to the extent that Fulton County hosts the portal and is clearly subject to the Open Records Act, particularly here where the agency and the officer are denying that they are subject to the act. The county clearly is, and the county is hosting the method to request and receive responses, to submit requests and receive responses and responsive documents. And so to the extent that the county is doing so in the absence of the records custodian, i.e. the district attorney in her official capacity, or the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, such as it is constituted for purposes of it being an agency or office, the Fulton County stays in the case as well. So that's going to be my ruling. I am, as I said, I'm granting the motion to dismiss as to Ms. Bonnie Willis. I'm denying the motion as to the other defendants.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Today is another great day in Fulton County, another great day of crime fighting. We are here today to just let the public know that we are continuing our mission to target gangs, as we believe it is our #1 public safety deterrent crisis that we're in. I have to acknowledge the two men that are before me before I even start. This is the great Detective Needham and the great Detective Davidson from Sandy Springs Police Department. This was a collaboration, but you always have to acknowledge those that are on the front line working really hard to get things done. And these two gentlemen have done just an excellent job. What today's indictment is about is the Drug Rich Gang, which is a hybrid gang, and it started back in 2016. That's how far we can document this gang existing. We know that it is a gang that primarily actually exists out of DeKalb County, the Stone Mountain and the Tucker area. But as we know, crime and criminals have no boundaries, and they found their way into my county, Fulton County. I have a message today that you will hear repeated time and time again. If you thought Fulton was a good county to bring your crime to bring your violence to, you are wrong, and you are going to suffer consequences. And today is the start of some of those consequences. This gang, as I mentioned, is a hybrid gang. It does include members of the Gangster Disciples, the Crips and the Bloods. We know that here in Atlanta, Georgia, that hybrid gangs are something that we regularly see. We know that this gang does have some identifiers that connects it together. They use things like prescription bottles and money symbols, and this is in their jewelry and their tattoos, and we see that present here. We have identifiers identifying this gang. But that's not the problem, that people collected together or they decided to use symbols. It's what they did once they joined together. What this indictment represents is 16 different victims in our county, 16 different incidents of violence, and 26 defendants. They committed crime everywhere from the south to the north of my county, which included Union City, Atlanta, and Sandy Springs.
Hybrid gang mean it's kind of a gang, but it's kind of not. Like they a gang, they do gang shit, but they not really a gang, though.
The earliest crime committed that is captured in this indictment is a 2018 carjacking. The latest was committed just this month. We are aware that crimes have occurred in other jurisdictions, but what this indictment primarily covers are the 16 crimes that committed here in Fulton County. The victims, they do not discriminate, but what they did do is target people who show their wealth on social media. So I do have a message for the public, where it is kind of fun to put your things on social media and show off. Unfortunately, these gangs are becoming more savvy.
I know. I want to see that in a police code book. What do it say? Hybrid gang. Oh, gang. Oh, gang. Hybrid game. GAME. Gang makes sense.
More sophisticated in the way that they target you. And this is a way that we know that they targeted these individuals. And it's because of these great detectives' work where they were able to show that they were following these individuals and using it to their advantage. Some of the celebrity victims included Calvin Ridley, who is a loved member of our Falcons, Brad Guzan, who is a loved member of the Atlanta United team, Marlo Hampton, who is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Brittany Neely, who is the mother of Future's child. All very well-known celebrities who have decided to take residence right here in Metro Atlanta, because this is a great place to live. And we cannot tolerate this. But don't be fooled. This indictment also covers other individuals who are not as famous, but also had their wealth on social media. Lots of social media influence.
Facts at Rochelle. It could be a set. You know, they got sets or cliques that got gang members in them, like from Bloods and Crips, but it's not the same as a gang. It ain't a hybrid gang.
The incidences that are in here is, thank God we don't have a murder, but we have kidnapping. We have armed robberies, we have shootings, and we have home invasions. Very violent crimes, things that cannot be allowed in our county, and all done, again, at the hands of crime, at the hands of gangs. What I want the public to see today is a collaboration of law enforcement, because as they have gotten more savvy, so have we. And so what you have is a collaboration of the Atlanta Police Department, the Union City Police Department, the United States Attorney's Office is here today, the Fulton County Sheriff, the Marshals, and the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. We are working together.
That's definitely more than 3. That sound like a whole lot. And then all them microphones too, they working together too. All them news channels, they working with them. Judge working with them. Prosecutors, Love, Hilton, all them. That's way more than 3.
We are working collaboratively, and we have a message, and that is get out of this county or expect to start seeing sentences that go life plus. Because I am not going to negotiate with gang members. I am not going to allow pleas. We are going to find you. We are going to convince you, and we're going to send you to the prison for the rest of your days. And I'm not apologizing for that. Any questions?
We're speaking. As it happens, I live in the part of DeKalb County that drug rich is sort of covered by the and you mentioned drug rich tactic, who's Stinny in the indictment, who, as I understand it, just got out of jail or prison. He's living with his mom on how much cooperation? Because I can't help but notice that DeKalb County isn't standing behind you right now. But I know that they're accused of crimes in DeKalb County. Is there collaboration happening between Fulton and DeKalb County with regard to the investigation of this gang?
I have a relationship with the district attorney in DeKalb. I cannot say we specifically collaborated on this incident. I will say that we know that this gang has also committed crimes in Cobb, in Fayette, in a lot of the surrounding jurisdictions, and they have been at the table as we have developed these crimes. In fact, I'm aware that the Gwinnett district attorney does have an indictment against some of these same members, and she has sent part of her staff to be at the table.
Objection, that's intent.
I'm overrule the objection.
Could you repeat the question for me?
Yeah.
I'm overrule the objection.
Could you repeat the question for me?
Yeah.
I'm just going to recess and we'll see where Mr. Melnick is at that point in time, and then we'll I can talk about Monday for certain. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just going to recess in place. All right. No. Why didn't you, as an officer of this court, tell me? And that's not what the point is. The point is, you as an advocate, is you should have told me. I got a problem with you now. I got a problem with you now. I would suggest you don't say anymore. Now you want to have it both ways. You can't do it. Both sides have an equal responsibility under the rules of professional responsibility. All right, have a seat, sir. Thank you.
How fast things have changed. How fast things have changed. How fast things have changed.
Now I see you running, coming for my come up. Broke out all your shackles, turned it to some armor. Used to be the judge, but now you have no honor. To die with your pride is to live with all your karma. Now you understand. Now you understand.
Another night of fun. There's a lot of fun talking about.
All right. Anybody else have any other issues as to...
Uh-oh. Fulton County has no problem coming in here and cuffing all of us, okay? Don't be an idiot.
Are you trying to tell me about myself? You homeless, and you don't even have a mirror to look at yourself.
Here. So I know you all about your principles. But can we just please just listen to Earl so we can get out of here? It's 4 cops on the other side of that door. You know if they come in here, they're gonna get your ass on a whole lot of other shit.
You lying ass bitch.
I
knew it.
Mama, I hate you, Will.
Don't you never come back to my house,
And I hope they blow your motherfucking ass to smithereens.
You better hope they do, bitch. You better hope they do.
Appreciate
This
y'all
nigga
being here.
kidnapped me.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! What are you, fucking nuts?
You thought... You just...
Much love, family. Appreciate y'all being here as always. Have a good night. Catch y'all in the YouTube streets in the morning. Keep it going. Keep the truth spreading. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Tap in. Share with a friend. Until next time, we out, family. 100. Much love. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to YP. Shout out to Chad My Black is Golden. Shout out to Tall Glass. Shout out to Sha Diggy.